Wait for the buffery wheel. And there we go. I am the S. Preston Esquire, and this is Cakes, Theodore, Logan, and together we are OneVsOneMe. Welcome to the stream, guys.
That was amazing. I'm so happy. If you don't get that reference, you're too young to watch the stream. Just click go away. So, welcome back. Hi guys, nice to see the chat. Some new faces, some regular faces.
Ugly motherfuckers. Good.
Wow, rude.
Huh? I'm sorry. Did that come out?
Yeah. Were you talking?
Naughty brain. Naughty brain.
So, how have you guys been? How have you been, D? What you been doing? Tell me everything.
I wish I could say something really interesting, but I have basically been yapping to Jamie Brown all week and watching Gold Rush.
I don't know what Gold Rush is. You said it earlier, and I was just like, yeah, I know what that is.
This is a documentary series on Discovery where they follow people who.
Right, well, while he's a robot, while he stops buffering and he's all roboting, I'm going to tell you about what I did this week. Nothing.
I was going to say, I would have asked if you hadn't told me I'd gone all robot-y, so I just sat there and went...
Well, you know, hello, Validation 119. My name doesn't have Zs. I don't know what my point is there. So was there anything to kick us off? Was there anything you wanted to...
No, I was just going to say, how's it been for you this week? Like, yeah, so...
Other than just being ill still with my chest, I haven't really done anything.
Rick said you're
okay. Yeah, other than just being sick and not doing anything, you know, yeah. 1 second.
Damn boyfriends. Give him a slap and tell him to wait.
Oh, no, sorry. He was telling me that Validation is one of my best friends. And I didn't know that that's what his YouTube name was. So, Richard! Yeah, cool. Yeah, so, go. What did you want to talk about?
Crickets.
Oh, no. You don't want to talk about anything? You want my list of things again?
Basically, well, it's not that. I had no particular topic, like I say, which hence the title for tonight's stream, like keep us talking with questions. So, yeah, if you didn't have anything, then that was basically going to be the meat of the show.
That's fair enough. I do have things. So this week, because normally my normal week is working, coming home, cooking, playing Xbox, going to bed. That's my normal week. But because I've been sick and I've been at work, and because I've been sick and I've not been at work, I am so bored. So I've been watching old YouTubers that I used to watch before I had my job. I've been working now for 2 years. I worked before I had my son, but since having my son, I was like, right, not working, gonna spend time with my boy while he's still young. So I've been watching loads of these YouTubers, and they're big YouTubers. They're not any of you guys. Sorry, guys.
You guys are just small fry.
So yeah, I've been watching them, and all of them are just so up themselves when they're talking. Bar one, there is one who's very humble for the amount of money she earns. She donates so much stuff, and she's constantly promoting education, or not necessarily education, but educating yourself. And she's great, and she has donated. She's given people money to pay for semesters at university in Canada, and I think that's amazing. Like, I absolutely love that. But loads of them are just so fickle. And no, but for educating yourself for a career that you want to do, that's great. Don't be a dick, okay?
I'm allowed to be a dick.
Yeah,
It's
I
half my
know.
podcast. Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, but you're on that half,
Yeah.
not the good half. No, but the rest of them are just so wasteful and so fickle and don't quite understand the money that they've got. Like, there's this one guy that I watch, and I watch him because he is funny. I find him quite funny. But I don't think he grasps how much money this guy, he earns 4 million a year, $4 million a year by YouTubing. And
Yeah, that's
then
only about
complains
3.5 mil. Come on, when you talk
and
in
then
pounds.
yeah, but
So,
and then complains when a video gets demonetized, and I'm like, really, you're going to complain about your video being demonetized when he uploads a video every single day and gets hundreds of thousands of views on each video. And it made me think about the difference between our streams and the people in our chat and the people that we watch a lot. Like Jed's there, Edge of Reality's there, Jamie's there, Chris Hayes is there. Although Chris Hayes is without a picture, so I'm not too sure if it is Chris Hayes. And it makes me think, will these people in our chat ever reach this level of YouTube success? And I don't think we will. I don't think any of us will ever reach that number. I don't think people will ever be as enlightened or thought-provoking enough to click on such long videos. I mean, Jed's live streams go on for like between 3 and 6 to 8 hours, and ours goes on for between an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. And it's depressing to see all of these young people that are clicking on these videos by the people that I've been watching recently. They're all these 10-minute vlogs and 10-minute tiny little videos. See, we were talking about this earlier, and I really like PewDiePie. Well, I like PewDiePie as he used to be, because I said he was very humble when he first started. He was one of the first people on YouTube to ever make it big with gaming, and I really liked that. The way that he was just so surprised that him putting up silly little videos would get him such fame, and he was very humbled. I don't know if he is now, because I don't really watch his more recent videos.
I didn't even watch
So
the old
yeah.
one. So I only know he does PewDiePie because of South Park. So
PewDiePie. Yeah. So I'm quite a bit younger than you.
No, you're not. Don't lie.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. 27 in 6 days. I don't want to be 27.
Yeah,
I didn't want to be
29. God, that's
liar. You look
so
older than your
younger.
mom. We've established this.
That
But yeah, no.
funny,
So my point is that the attention span of the youth is that they'll sit there and they'll watch this guy. His name's Joey Graceffa, and I like him. Again, I think his videos are funny. I really like him. I don't think anybody here will, because he's very feminine. And they'd watch like a week's worth of his videos, which would probably equate to almost the time of one of our videos, but they'd watch all 7 of his because they're short little videos, and they'll see, oh, it's 10 minutes long, so I'm going to watch that. So do we, as people who want to enlighten people and be thought-provoking, do we then have to make our content smaller for people to watch us and for people to hear us? Like, this goes out to all you guys in the comments that have got YouTube accounts as well. Look, P-Mars, you've just joined. You're at P-Mars.
It's hard to dumb us down anymore, so shorter might be the option.
Wow. But you know what I mean? Like, how do you grasp the attention of people to get them to listen?
Oh my god, yeah, no, sorry, that's just popped up, yeah. Well, P-Mars will be off to masturbate now.
that needs to stay off YouTube.
Yeah.
No, it's all shallow crap, like watch me eat red food all day or watch me speed clean my bathroom. So that's not what I watch, but yes, the people want to watch that, and I don't understand why people want to watch that and not thought-provoking stuff that you guys watch. I mean, the people that are in this chat right now, we kind of follow video to video, and we all go around to different videos and different podcasts, and we're in this little kind of, I'd say, little group we're in now. Well, you guys already was in it. I've kind of entered the group, and I'm like, well, I'm here to stay now. Put up
you
with
suffer.
Like, yeah, what do you guys think? How do you think that us as like truth YouTubers or like conversational YouTubers wanna can you know what I'm trying to say? How can we break through to them and wake people up? Do we need shorter videos?
Take your top off.
That's only going to work for the boys. That's only going to work for the guys. It's not going to work for everybody else. And like makeup tutorials, there's so many makeup and nail tutorials. Like I am a sucker for a good nail tutorial. I do love doing my nails. But yeah, and I do like doing my makeup as well. But there's so many do we need to prank each other? Is that what we need to do?
It would be a pretty boring life without it, but we don't need to, no.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, how do we cross that barrier? Like, and again, this is all of us. Like, I get that, like, Jed's got over 1,000 follows and stuff like that. But he if you look at like a prank channel that's got 1,000 follows, they'd have a lot more views than Jed had.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, again, if you look at some of Jed's videos, especially ones where he's done his ancestry and stuff, the views on them have gone like, they are
through
the roof. So
yeah.
it's possible. So maybe it's just finding the niche, like finding that little thing that gets you noticed. And again, it's that 100th monkey effect, isn't it? Like, I mean, once enough people have seen it, it just naturally spreads out. But
because I mean, for us, it's a little bit different. I don't really care about our views. Me and you would probably sit and have the conversations that we had anyway, whether we were streaming or not. We do, exactly. So for us, like, I absolutely love interacting with you guys in the chat, and I love having chats with you. So yeah, and I've just read Madame's comment. It's not about conforming. It's about I hate seeing all these people being sheep. I want them to open their mind and get involved with thought-provoking conversations. So it's not about us conforming to them. It's about us attracting them so that
it's about forcing them over here and making them fucking listen to fucking science.
No, definitely, Madame. Like I've just said, like for me and D, I really don't care, and I know he doesn't really care about the level of subs. I care about having a good group of people that want to come along and want to have a good chat. You know. Yeah, that's not how our channel usually rolls.
It would be nice to get a shout out for being new here. No more lies. Welcome to OneVsOneMe. Hope you have a fantastic time and stay for life. Is that okay?
Yeah, Madam. You definitely can. Yeah, you can't force them to drink. I get that. It's just wanting to be more accessible to people so that they can come and join in, and not just our chats, but you
might want to get different co-hosts. I mean, I'm not exactly appealing to the younger fucking generation here. Come on.
Daddy issues.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Yeah, so it sickens me as well that the big YouTubers can earn so much money. Like, does that bother anybody else? Is it just me that's bothered by these people who are earning millions of pounds a year just for sitting here? Because this isn't difficult, you know.
Yeah, no, I get exactly what you mean, but YouTube's making money, yeah, from the people that are doing it and putting ads on their thing. So why shouldn't the people who are having ads on there make money from it and get sponsors from it and stuff? It's kind of, it's not quite the same. So it's a slight false equivalency here. But football players. Now, I'm not into football, the sport of football, or soccer, as you Americans might call it. Soccer, yeah. But I'm one of these that actually thinks the players should be paid more, because the sport generates more money, and they're the main reason the money's coming in, is because people are watching them. So the players should be getting the lion's share of the money, and that's the kind of way I think about it. If people are going to go going to click on adverts and all that kind of stuff, then why shouldn't the person who the adverts there like get some money for it? Yeah.
I would rather see the YouTubers get the money than YouTube. I get that. It just makes me angry that there's so many people doing good, hard, honest jobs that get paid considerably less, and their corporations are making loads of money. Like, look how much money.
That's my.
I'm trying to think of a corporation.
See, this is it. Corporations have made it so nobody's earning a decent, honest living anymore. Yeah, because you're all evil fuckers working for the system. Your nose fucked up.
No More Lies just said the truth shouldn't be monetized. I was disappointed to see that Jamie Brown was doing it now. Jamie's videos aren't actually monetized, but Jamie has a PayPal account if you want to go and subscribe to his channel. Okay, Richard. If the thing is that me and Dee have a pretty shit setup right now. Let's be honest. I'm on my phone. Granted, my phone is relatively good quality and my headset is fantastic quality, but that's because it's my gaming headset, and I have to have a good gaming headset because, well, I want one. But Dee's on his laptop, and it would be great for us to have like cameras and light boxes and have a better setup, so that the quality looks better and so that we don't get this lag. And the same with Jamie. Look how often Jamie gets lag and he starts to jump like this and robot. So Jamie's asking for. Well, he's not. I don't think I've not seen him directly be like, "Give me money." But Jamie's Jamie's PayPal's there so that people can, donate some money for a better setup.
Well, so he is going to be monetizing when he can, and again, I don't see anything wrong with that. Cause,
no, I don't see anything wrong with monetizing. I just see.
Well, it's the whole truth should be free thing. I mean, he's not there talking truth. He's there talking his opinion.
Yeah.
And like I say, he's trying to do other stuff. He wants to be able to do other stuff. In order to do stuff in the system, you need money. So he's going to need a little bit of money so he can go out and do he wants to do and stuff. So around it, you will come across from my side, unfortunately, the cult side of things, and it's a big no-no in the flat Earth to be paying for truth, right?
But the thing is that you, as the YouTube consumer, you're not paying for anything. You're just clicking on a video and an advert comes up. If you don't want to see the adverts, then you buy YouTube Pro, YouTube Plus, or whatever YouTube. Yeah, or get an ad blocker. Yeah, I mean, I don't condone that, because then YouTubers like us wouldn't get paid if we do eventually get monetized, because we will monetize this channel if and when we can. But I don't think this channel will never see the amount of money that big YouTubers like PewDiePie get.
Oh yeah, no, and like I say, the money we do get would be folded straight back into the channel anyway. So I don't think either of us are expecting to get rich off of this, right? I mean, to be fair, I think I've got more chance with the creative channel I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, and I have more chance with my gaming.
So,
yeah, definitely. This channel is. It's just something that me and you enjoy, isn't it? It's just something that we've known each other for over a year now. And we have great chats. So yeah. Is there anything else you want to say about YouTube?
You suck, motherfucker. Wow. Damn brain keeps just wow.
Terrible brain. No. Okay, I want to talk about cultural appropriation.
Right. Before we go any further, was that like cultural bleeding where like people take on other people's culture, or go on?
Cultural appropriation. Okay, so Halloween. I've got two things I want to say about Halloween, but the first thing is to do with cultural appropriation. There's a lot of people who will dress up as white people who will dress up as Pocahontas, or white people who will dress up as Bob Marley, or something like that, something that's out of their culture. And apparently they shouldn't be doing that. Now, I personally don't see anything wrong with if a little girl wants to dress up as Pocahontas. you do you, you know, you go dress up as Pocahontas if you want to be Pocahontas. And if you want to dress up as Bob Marley because you absolutely love Bob Marley and you love reggae and you're white, do it. I don't understand
You
why
want to
people are
dress up
getting
as a
hate.
gollywog, you do it. You want to dress up like a KKK man, you do it.
I've
So
That's
I always have
different.
to take it to
Okay,
extremes,
right.
don't I? I always have
Stop
to
it.
be the one.
That is different, and you know it's different, right? So, for those of you who are here often, you guys will know that I'm relatively left wing. I don't like to. I try to avoid offending people, um, and I try to be as politically correct as I possibly can because I don't want to cause offence anywhere. I really don't. But I don't understand why it is wrong for somebody to dress in something that's not from their culture. If you go to my Instagram, it's Incinecakes, INCINERKEKS. You'll see pictures of me with dreadlocks. I make synthetic dreadlocks and I wear them. And I have been told off saying that it is not within my culture to have dreadlocks. My hair doesn't need dreadlocking, so why have you got dreadlocks in? And I just do not understand why, as a white person, I get hated on for wearing my dreadlocks. You know?
It's so fake. You don't need it, Cakes. I mean, come on. No, no.
Going home. Goodbye.
Yeah, no. It,
You're a robot.
it is just. Yeah. Am
You're
I better
you're
now?
back now.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's again situational thing. Just as a dress up thing, yeah, fair enough. If you're doing it for an offensive purpose, then obviously then that's where the lines need to be maybe drawn if they really need to be drawn. Because again, freedom of expression is just an extension of freedom of speech as far as I'm concerned. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm so far right, I'm back on the left again. It's ridiculous.
You've done a circle like the globe. That'll trigger some people. But yeah, there was a girl. Oh, what? I took a screenshot and I meant to send it you earlier. What did she dress up as? It was a Love Island girl. No, I don't follow Love Island, but for some reason it came up on my news feeds. Hang on, let me type it and I'll tell you what she dressed up as. Love Island cultural. Look, here you go. Megan Love. It's like the fourth result. She was. What was she wearing? Sorry, bear with. If anybody's watched Miranda, you'll get that.
So you got to remember, you're talking to somebody who used to run around as a kid going, "How white man," and all this kind of stuff when I used to play Cowboys and Indians. So I mean, it's a bit like I said, almost a non-issue for me. It's I don't understand, what the issue is, but
that's not the one that I was looking for.
whenever we talked about Chinese people, we want to put on Chinese accent and be very racist like that, you know. And it wasn't seen as a racist thing. It was just seen as somebody doing an imitation, and albeit a very poor one, of a Chinese person.
Cleopatra. That's what she wore. This is why I thought it was so ridiculous, was because she was dressed like Cleopatra. How is that offensive?
So now you can only dress as Cleopatra if you're ancient Egyptian, okay?
Exactly. I can't, like, again, like I'm very, I don't like to offend people and I don't like to piss people off. But how is dressing up as Cleopatra cultural appropriation? And how is that wrong? I honestly can't comprehend that. It makes absolutely no sense at all. Why? Do you guys know? I'm looking down there because the chat's down there.
Yeah, no.
Burning a terrorist. Anyone got a potato? Simple. It's not offensive. It's just people trying to find an excuse to seem offended, to justify and show people that they care for minorities. I think you're bang on there, Rick. I think you're absolutely bang on there. And hi, Stephen.
I almost forgot my
Mick.
job there of actually putting the things we're reading out on the screen. I mean, been doing this long enough now.
I know, fair few weeks. My watch is in weeks.
yeah, your invisible watch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair. It's very good. It's very helpful.
Only I can see it.
But yeah, and then the other thing about Halloween is, so I don't know if you're going to have a different opinion to me, but it really annoys me when people dress up for Halloween in things that aren't scary or things that aren't Halloweeny, you know, and people who dress up in sexy outfits. That, I mean, maybe for a man you're all about that and you're all for it, but for me, I get sick of seeing women trying to sell their bodies for a couple of drinks, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, when you're talking about females dressing up as like, yeah, sexy creatures and all that kind of thing, fucking go girls. But yeah, no, I mean, as for little kids dressing up as a doctor or fucking, you know what I mean, something like you say, it isn't scary, then no.
No, I'm not all about that. Yeah, like Freddie, for example. Freddie went as Skeleton Jack from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah. Do you
Yeah, I saw
guys think
pictures
that
on Facebook. It was awesome.
It did look really good. I was so proud. And I did the pumpkins. I did Skeleton Jack pumpkin, and I did Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas because I'm a big fan of Nightmare Before Christmas. This is my diary.
Honestly, I can see exactly what Madame Medusa means now.
What?
Social justice warrior outfit.
What are you on about?
Not necessarily social
Beagles.
justice warrior, but you have that outfit that projects an image.
How does a Beagles t-shirt project that image, D?
Yeah, you're a geeky social justice warrior.
My dad bought me that. How is the Beatles geeky?
It's the Beagles. It's a piss take on the Beatles. How much more fucking geeky can you get? My
dad bought it me. It's cute. It's adorable. Snoopy. Do you guys think that reverse racism exists? What do you mean by reverse racism? I've not heard that term. Let me just, because I don't want to get wires crossed.
You've never, well, it's kind of like, you know, when you would like give a black person a job over a white person just because they're black.
Right.
I think that's the gist there. That's what I got from that question anyway. But
that particularly happens in my area. Yeah, that happens where I live. If I went for a job and I went up against a black person or an Asian person that had the same credentials as me, they would get chosen over me purely and only because of what's the word? Diversity quotas.
Just to hit a diversity quota. See, if I went for a job, everybody would get picked over me because I'm a white guy. like, I mean, the lowest of the low. No.
Because women would get picked. A woman would get picked over you.
Oh no, I know that. I mean, there are some jobs because of in corporations now that advertise just to women because affirmative action. They have to get women in the workplace doing managerial jobs and all this kind of stuff. So so if you're a black, Asian, or Oriental, is that okay to say Oriental or is it Asian? I can't keep up with PC. Oriental, female, then you're perfect for any corporation. They want you and they want you now.
Reverse racism or reverse discrimination is the concept that affirmative action and similar color-conscious programs for readdressing racial inequality. Yeah, that's what it is. Just googled it. My tablet took a while to load.
So I thought you was reading
Yeah,
from chat. I'm trying to check where this chat is. I'm thinking I've got to put it up on screen. Where is it?
was it you? Why am I playing with that? Was it you that I was talking to? I'm fiddling with things. Was it you that I was talking to about somebody was saying that black people can't be racist? Who was saying that? Because I think you were there, and somebody was saying that people of
Funnily enough,
color
you
can't
just
be
said that.
racist.
Somebody just put that in chat.
Oh, I can only see top chat. Hang on. I can't see
Well,
you.
put it on the screen, look.
I know you have,
People
but
say
you'll take it down when I'm halfway through it, and then I'll be pissed off with you. People say black people can't be racist, but they can be prejudiced towards other races, and that racism is a white problem. Yeah, I see that a lot. That you can't be racist because you're black, or you can't be racist because you're this. You can't be racist because you're that. Oh, I'm sorry, but when you're a white female and you're being attacked by a group by a gang of Asian lads for being white, I think that is by definition a hate crime and racist. Yeah.
So yes, but I think yes, any race can be racist because there's idiots everywhere.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. That's a good point. As soon as it pops up on StreamYard, I will put it up on the screen from validation. This is good. This is going to get awkward if validation boy comes in later, like validation and validation boy.
Well, we'll just call validation 119 Rick because that's his name. You've met him. I'm pretty sure you've met his Fwichtermeister is my friend that's played Destiny with me a bit. I think you've definitely met him. Yeah. So and the whole Halloween thing. Back to the Halloween thing. Just people using Halloween as an excuse to get naked and prance around in little to no clothes. It just infuriates me. Like, even when I was really skinny and teeny tiny, I didn't dress up in sexy Halloween costumes. I went to clubs with like long velvet vampire dresses.
And you fucking goth, you.
I know.
God. Typical.
Huh?
I said the world would be miserable if we didn't have a few sluts.
Rick's gay. Rick doesn't want slut. Rick wants man sluts. He
still had a nice giggle about it. So.
Shut up, Rick.
Right, let me put it up on screen so I can actually try and read that properly. It's racism if the race of somebody has anything to do with a choice that is made. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. And yeah, you can't say anything else to that, because that's smack on. That's exactly how it is. Yeah. Which kind of leads me on to Brexit a little bit. It didn't happen. We're still in Europe, in case you guys hadn't heard.
What? Really?
Yeah, it didn't happen. You know, when we were saying the other day that it won't happen, and it didn't happen. So yeah. So again, it's been pushed back to the 31st of January, in case you guys hadn't heard.
Again?
Yeah,
2020, eh? Oh, getting into some.
That's what I read. I read the 31st of January.
Yeah,
it was the 31st of January. Did you read that as well?
It was one of those little, news things that pops up on your phone, like, yeah.
Please, sir, can I have some more? Daniel, can I have some more tea? Now he's quiet. Please. Yeah, no, I'm sure it said the 31st of January. It gets stopped fiddling with things.
fiddly fingers.
I know. No, stop getting your penis out while I'm streaming. I can't work under these conditions, guys. Send help. And we're having an election as well, aren't we? I don't know if we've got any Americans in the chat. Stop it! Behave.
The election, I heard there was one trying to be pushed for like the 12th of December or something.
12th of December, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is it,
I think it has been
confirmed now then, is it?
I think it has, and I'm not too sure. No, Richard, I didn't say erection. Yeah, so 12th of December. Yeah, I'm being distracted right now because I can see the shadow in my screen.
Oh, we can see the reflection in your glasses actually. Dana, we can see your wiener. We can see your wiener. Get your pubes out of the way. It's fucking barely visible.
Lost my track. Oh yeah. So Nigel Farage has said that he's not going to stand in the general election. No, I was honestly shocked by that when I saw that, because I thought that Nigel Farage was all on his kind of make everything better and do this, do that. I mean, you know, I don't like Nigel Farage. He's a dick. So yeah, but I honestly thought that he would. I really thought that he would stand. I want to see him get voted down. People not vote for him.
You really think that happen in this climate?
Robot.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, if he runs, I might actually go and vote.
What?
If Nigel Farage runs, I will go and vote for him.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's the best puppet there is. Told you I'm right.
I am shook to the core right now. I honestly didn't expect that. I really didn't expect you to be all, I don't vote for him.
No, you know, I won't get off my ass to vote for anyone, but if I was going to get off my ass to vote, it would be for Nigel Farage if he ran, yeah.
I'm surprised by that. I honestly hate Nigel Farage. I cannot stand Nigel Farage. He's a lying, conniving little dick.
They all are.
Well, they are, yes, but he lies more. Like,
yeah, at least you go down
robot.
Pub and have a drink
Robot.
with him.
Still robot. What'd you say?
I said, yeah, but at least you can go down the pub and have a drink with him.
Why could I go down the pub and have a drink with him?
Because he'd probably be the bloke that would actually go down the pub and have a drink.
I don't want to go down the pub. I don't want to.
At least then you could meet him in person and tell him how bad he is.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, well, he is probably the person I would vote for if I did get off my arse and vote. Yeah, a lot of what I'm saying is just me trying to be funny.
Dude, get off my tablet. Thanks. This is what my cat's just typed to you guys. There you go. What do you think about white privilege cakes? Do you think it's real? I think there's cultural privilege. I don't think there's white privilege, black privilege, or anything like that. I think there's cultural privilege. I know that compared to a lot of families, I definitely haven't had privilege. You know, in terms of Western world, I live in a relatively affluent area, but I don't think that I would be chosen over other people because I'm white. I don't think that it's very difficult because in my area I don't see white privilege, and I have quite a few black friends who go on about white privilege. Yeah, I think the privilege is more to do with the family you're born in, and it is. You could be born into a good family, or you could be born into a bad family.
Let's face it, the 1% is white. So does white privilege exist? Yes, it does. Does it exist everywhere? No, it doesn't. Yeah,
But
I mean, it's.
but hang on, does that? But does that privilege, right? Are you including the people that that are in Saudi Arabia in that? Do they even hit that top 10, that top 1%? The people in Saudi Arabia, like the oil princes and all that.
Like I say, you don't really know who the real top 1% are, because they're the people that don't show up in like the Forbes rich list and all that kind of thing. So no, we don't really know what color they are. I was using a programmed response there.
So in Western world, white privilege being in the top 1%, is that not because white people have been able to be accessible to these jobs and to gain these powers for longer? Like, you look at the Rothschild family, and they've been going for as long as we can even think, you know, and that's been in Western world. And you look at the Gates, he would have had those opportunities. Actually, I don't think Gates did. I don't think Gates was born into privilege, was he? He was, from what we know, Gates
was planted into privilege.
Yeah, and Zuckerberg was as well, wasn't he? Because he was just although he was at Harvard, I believe. So, but I feel like Black people and Asian people haven't been in our countries long enough to establish family roots with family that have money for you to be able to be born into privilege. But that's the same as if I flew over to New Delhi with my son's children wouldn't be born into privilege, and he'd be like, well, this is Asian privilege, this is Indian privilege, you know, because he'd be looking at all of the rich Indian families, and we just went over with a little bit of money. I think that it's very difficult to say. I think that it's a very subjective thing. I think privilege is very subjective, because obviously I'm more privileged than poor little African children in Africa.
But whose standard, though?
You know,
this is what I mean. Again, how do you know that little fucking African child isn't loving his fucking life or her life, and fucking loving the fact they got to walk down to the river and drink fucking parasite infested water and kind of shit? They might fucking love it.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. So I do you see what I mean, though? I think that
no, I do see what you mean. Yeah, no, it's
that I don't think Black people have been in our countries long enough to establish those roots and establish that. I shouldn't say roots and Black people in the same sentence. I'm sorry. I am sorry that my brain just made that connection. I don't think that people of ethnicities have been in our countries, England and America specifically, long enough for them to have those money ties, you know, because although I've grown up in an affluent a relatively affluent area, that doesn't mean that I've got family money. So there are a lot of people on my streets that would have had the exact same start as me, no matter what color they were, you know. But then you go further that way, and they're all white people, but they've all been there for like 200 years. Like, people don't move from Stratford upon Avon, for example. You're not going to move from there. You're going to keep that family money, you know. So I think that it's very subjective, and it's very difficult to be like.
So there is white privilege. It's just, it's not the result of people just being white. It was a result of history not having enough time to give Black people the chance to catch up. That's what I'm getting from it.
Not catch up, because that sounds like they're slow. But I mean, like, they've not been here long enough for their families to have money, because you don't just wake up one morning and land in a really good job because you're white. That doesn't, that especially not in my area, that doesn't happen. I don't think people where I live are chosen because of their color. Again, this is not to say that there's not racism. I see racism every day and I absolutely detest it. I really do. But I don't think in my area especially, I don't think that I have any more chance than somebody of a different ethnicity at all.
You've got less of a chance after 8 p.m. in certain areas.
Yeah, don't go there though. It's scary. I like not being hurt. Yeah, but if you went to their country, we wouldn't get the same things what we got here, but they come here and get everything as the racist card. Well, that's a very stupid thing to say. Oh, that's cute. If I went to New Delhi, where there's less religion in New Delhi, then people would be treated. Then I would be treated exactly the same as they treat me here. It's all businesses and stuff in New Delhi, isn't it? So I think that in New Delhi, I would be treated a lot differently. They're mostly Hindus in New Delhi as well,
Right.
and Hindus are great.
Indians are also
like
extremely racist as a culture, so you would be treated extremely differently, especially as a female in that culture. Yeah.
I don't think I would in a Hindu environment. I don't think I would at all. Not in a Hindu environment.
Again, we're not just talking religion here, unfortunately. We're talking it's an inbred culture thing. It really is.
No, but not. I don't think in New Delhi, where it's very, very rich. I think I hate this. This is such a racist opinion of, oh, they would be treated differently you would be treated differently over there to how we treat them over here. No, not at all. I've worked with a lot of Muslim girls, and they have been so abused through school by white people. And in my area, you're probably looking at 8% Indian and Pakistani in my area where I live, and they're treated really badly. They're treated really badly just because the government gives them something, which they don't. They get the same money that I would get, the same money that you would get, Stephen, and the same money that Jamie would get. They'd get exactly the same. That comment really pisses me off when people are like, "Oh, they get more than you." They don't.
They do though. That's to me. If they're immigrants, they certainly do get more than us because they get paid more for a start. They don't have to go out and get a job because they don't speak English, so they can't go and work. They get given cars so they can get transport here, there, and everywhere. They get flats given to them. So, and I've seen it happen right there in front of me. This is not hearsay.
See, we don't see that here. I don't see that here. At all. Yeah, they get a house, but you guys would get a house. I'd get a house. You know, if I left my mum's house.
Not immediately, no, literally. I mean, if you wanted a house, yeah, and you left your mum's house, yeah, if they found out that you left your mum's house willingly, yeah, you couldn't find a new place. You'd be on the streets.
Yeah, I'd obviously have to be kicked out. I'd obviously have to have no home to go to.
Exactly.
But these people have no home to go to.
Because they came here by choice.
But see, I was talking to Lucky a few weeks ago, right? And he was telling me that he used to be a pizza delivery driver. And he rocked up to this house and there were, I think he said 12 people living in this house, 12 Mexicans living in this house. And they were sharing one large pizza between the 12 of them. And he was like, how dare they come into this country? Why would they come to this country and just be able to have one large pizza? And I said to him, well, if they're coming to your country for a better life, and one large pizza between 12 people is a better life than what they are having in Mexico or in whatever country, don't you think we as humans should have some form of empathy and some form of compassion to let them in? You know,
no,
like
not necessarily. Not in the way society is set up now. No, because it's only going to cause problems. And as we can see, all it's done is cause problems. You can't go to a certain place in your own fucking city after 8 p.m. because the evil motherfuckers there, and you think that's okay.
But at the same time,
just because there might be the odd one or two nice people that get in.
But
Because the
50
majority
years
of them are
ago,
cunts.
Dan,
That's
but
the reason
50
they've left
years
their own.
ago,
The reason they've left their own countries is because they're a big bunch of cunts who didn't like their country didn't fucking want them anymore.
but 50 years ago, Dan wouldn't have been able to go into pubs because he's Irish, you know, like, and he's fine. We like Dan.
No dogs, no blacks, no Irish.
Yeah.
Yep.
So is that not the same thing? Like, I'm not all for. I hate the fact that it says no whites
He's
after
all
8
right.
p.m. I absolutely, we like Dan. He's all right. We put up with him. But I obviously hate the fact that there's an area in my town, well, my city, the city next to my town, that says no whites after 8 p.m. But it's a lot more than one or two people that are coming over here that are good. It's a lot more than one or two people that are
Then
coming over here
how have
because
they
our
allowed
governments
their
are bombing.
culture, their people, to set up an area where white people aren't allowed after 9 o'clock? If there's so many good people that are there.
Again, I think that, like me and you were talking the other day. No, don't me, motherfucker. Fight me. I think that, like, when we were talking the other day about the whole it being cultural and it not being about ethnicity and it not being about where they are, it's because they're still in that mindset of where they are in the poorer parts of their motherland, of their original country, and that's not to forgive and that's not to excuse the behavior is absolutely sickening. But my original point was that if my mum kicked me out of this house, we would get a shitty maybe 2-bedroom house, because there's 3 of us. We'd probably get a shitty 2-bedroom flat in a really shitty area, but it's the same as what they would get. You know, it's the same as what they would. I don't know about the car thing. I've never ever heard of somebody.
Yeah, well, basically, yeah. All right. To be fair, this was a good 15 or so years ago, because it was just before I started working for Royal Mail, anyway. And I was like in between jobs, so I was down at the social. And literally, there was this family there, and the only reason I could hear the conversation was because they had a translator there that was shouting, and the English people were shouting the translations here, there, back and forth. So we heard the whole fucking conversation. The whole fucking room heard it, and these people were immigrants, yeah, and they gave them £6,000 odd right there on the day so that they could go and cash. They gave them it was some form or something that they could take to this second-hand car place where they could go and get a car. Yeah.
Okay.
They were told to go to another office after that meeting to go and pick up the keys to their home, not flat, home. Yeah. I mean,
flat could be home.
Well,
but do we know the situation in which they came from? Do you know what I mean? Like,
again, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. I mean, this is what I mean. I mean, if you're so lefty, where's all this equality now? Where's the equality come in there? Like, they're getting treated not equally. They're getting treated differently than people who have lived here their whole life, who've just literally had a bit of hard time, can't get a job for a few fucking months, and won't get. I went there because I needed a bridging loan, because we basically ran out of money. We didn't have any fucking money left. We used our whole our savings, and I needed a bridging loan. So I went in there and asked for £150. They gave me £55 to last me the next 2 weeks. After I just heard that conversation. Yeah,
no,
I mean,
I know exactly what you're saying.
I've got a chip on my shoulder. I've got reason to have a chip on my shoulder about this shit.
Me. Come on, man.
So it winds me up. It does. I know these people should be treated like normal people, but if their country isn't willing to treat us exactly the same as we treat their people, then tough shit. Tough shit on them.
But would their country treat them the same? Do you know what I mean? Like, if we were to go and live somewhere else, and their country treated us differently to how our country would treat us, is their country treating us the same way as they're treating them? Because that's the thing, is that everybody should be treated equally.
Oh, I'm about to say when poor people suffering and dying already live here, and you need that. Yeah, no, exactly. That's it, Jenna. Sorry, I'll put that up on the screen. And This is what I mean. It's
All
literally
right.
people live their whole lives. I mean, right now, pensioners are getting shafted left, right, and centre.
Pensioners are getting. Well, I mean, I'm not even going to get a pension, so you know.
So we cannot afford immigrants. It's that simple. We cannot afford immigrants.
I
We can't even afford our parents, let alone immigrants.
I completely disagree. If we stopped, like I've said this on Jed's the other day, I think it was on Jed's, it might have been on ours, I'm not sure. If we stopped paying the fucking MPs so much money, £140,000 a year is what Boris Johnson was on 3 years ago. And I think it's £170,000 that prime ministers retire on. So David Cameron is getting £170,000 a year for being a retired prime minister. He doesn't deserve that money. Why is he getting paid that much money? And that's coming from my money. I'm a taxpayer. That's coming from what I have paid for. I would rather my money went to a family that's seeking refuge for a better life than a snotty, privileged dickhead who's earning 170 grand a year. Fuck off. How about the MPs show me the jobs that they're actually doing to improve our fucking country? You know? Piss off. Let me catch up on the chat. I'm sorry. Hang on.
That's hilarious. Sorry, that one there is hilarious. Oh, wow. The EU give us back some of the 350 billion we fucking pay them. Oh, wow. Thanks so much, EU. Thanks so much.
Hang on. Someone being very careful now. Remember, public worldwide psychopathy rates are. Put his dick in the pig's mouth. Yeah, he did. But no, it's a difficult one. It really is a difficult one because I see so much of taxpayers' money being wasted by the government and MPs in their expense accounts and everything else, and I'm completely against that. I don't understand how they can earn so much money for doing not a lot. And
see, my understanding was they get paid a lot because it prevents them from becoming corrupt. Because they're getting enough, so there's no need for them to be corrupt. That's basically. I think that was why MPs got paid a lot of money. I think that. Don't. I mean, obviously, please correct me if I'm wrong in the chat there, but I'm pretty sure that's the basis on which it.
Well, that's just fucked up. That's just completely fucked up. And what Jen said about what about disabled and poor people suffering and dying who already live here in bloody need, that infuriates me. So I know that there's a few stories that have been booping around about underprivileged people having to use food banks. Now, I personally can't comprehend having to need a food bank because I've been on benefits. As a lone parent, I was getting £800, and it was I'd actually get more, and that was with living with my mum and not paying rent. I was getting £800 a month. So that was child tax credit, child benefit, and lone parent, all equated to £800 a month. And that was once I started working, I started earning more because you still get top ups, and I was earning £1,500 working and the benefits that I used to get. And I was earning, before Dan moved over, I was earning between £600 and £800 a month with work, and then I was still getting the exact same amount in benefits because I was getting working families tax credits. So I really struggle when people complain about living in impoverished things. And again, I live in a relatively affluent area, so you don't see many people living in impoverished situations. But I had these two friends. They're dicks, and I don't like them anymore because as soon as my mental health started deteriorating, they dropped me and they didn't want to have anything to do with me, even though they have mental health issues themselves. Dee, I think you probably know who I'm on about. But the girls, both of them are disabled. The bloke has depression, and the girl has Elner's disease, which is a born disease where your joints don't align and your muscles get fucked and your joints pop out often. And they were getting £800 a month between the two of them, but that is excluding their rent. In the Solihull area, you get £560 a month for two people to rent, which is a lot of money. So they're taking home over 1,300. You know, that's a lot of money. I might have just done the maths wrong really quick in my head then.
Doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter because it's still a big number. It's still a big number. I know that there are people who I know that there are people who aren't passing the tests to be signed off on the sick, and I get that, and that's disgusting, and that is really wrong.
I'm one of them. Trust me, I know.
No, I know, and that's why it is so wrong. It is so wrong where there are people who physically can't work, whereas she could have worked. You know, she could have worked from home. There's a lot of I know Netflix do a lot of things where you just have to watch shows and type up the subtitles. I watch subtitles because I'm partially deaf. And he could have done something that Dan does. Dan's a caretaker, and he just sweeps floors, looks after things, and I've really downplayed his job. But
he stands on his broom and gives advice to people. Yeah.
So he could have done something like that, because he gets angry really easily. It's like they both could have done jobs, but they have chosen not to. Can't leave the house without it. My messages and meds that NHS don't cover that keep me from being bedridden cost £400 a month. I can't afford gas and use food banks. I don't quite understand why you wouldn't get meds on the NHS.
Because not all meds are available on the NHS. There are some that you just can't get. Although
I didn't know that.
There are some pretty heavy ones you can get. Because I know, because my mum's on a few of them. Like she has to get like she gets them from the controlled drug section and stuff, like, so yeah, it's
yeah, I haven't been around people where they've not had NHS, and you are one of those prime examples of where benefits just aren't enough for people. But when I see people who, like myself, I was getting far too much money. I didn't need £800 a month. I didn't need that, or £600 a month, or however much it was. I didn't fucking need that. You know. So when I see people who, what I hate is the people who complain that they have no money and then they're smoking and drinking all of their money. That's what I hate to see.
Yeah, I've certainly seen a lot of that in my life, definitely.
And parents
at the same time, I mean,
they've got to use food banks.
It's like,
for their kids.
Why shouldn't they have the money though?
But why should we fund something that's eventually going to then drain the NHS even more?
Because that's what governments are there for. They're there to look after the weakest and most useless people of society.
But they've done it for themselves. So why should I then have to pay for you having to have a lung transplant because you smoked yours away?
Because you've created a society where that's allowed. That's what I mean. Every one of us is responsible for the society that is about today. I mean, we all have the power to change it just by changing ourselves, and none of us do. So the simple answer is why all this is happening. It's because of me and you and everyone else.
Really funny comments here. Yeah, we send over to different countries.
Sorry, which comment were you on about?
Stevens, and then validations. So yeah, we send over to different countries, and all we get is Christmas tree to Trafalgar Square from Norway. You check it out on Google. Who gets most money from England? And then validation replied with, if you look up the right things, then you will find facts. If not, then you'll find a Christmas tree. That really made me chuckle. And the comment about the EU earlier, and you were like, oh yeah, the EU, we put money into it and we get things back. This was one of Nigel Farage. This is one of the things that really pissed me off about Nigel Farage, was that he was complaining that we spend so much money on Europe and we'll be able to pay this much more into the NHS without spending the money in Europe. And that was complete bollocks, because we still have to pay. I can't remember the exact percent of our GDP. We still, by our own laws, have to pay a certain percentage of GDP for you muggles, gross domestic profit, to foreign aid. And the money that we pay to the EU comes out of that percentage that we have to pay in foreign aid anyway. So, but no,
like I say, my pure point is we're paying into a system, so why the hell shouldn't we get something back out of it? Is all I was saying. That's what made that ridiculous statement earlier about whatever it was. I can't remember. But
like I was saying on Jed's channel last weekend, that that for anything above Birmingham, you kind of need us to stay in Europe, because London doesn't give a fuck about them. London does not care about Manchester, York, fucking Scotland, and all the rest of it, because most of their councils are subsidised by the EU. They're not actually subsidised by our government. So we're paying council tax. It's going to London. London's supposed to divide it up between the different.
I know how it's supposed to work and how it does work. Yeah,
and how it it's ridiculous. I know, you know. I'm sorry. Watching.
I'm just
when I first moved into my flat, I had nothing and put in for a grant and got nothing. All the girls of the same age and in all the same circumstances got grants. Should I blame all the girls for that?
Yeah, give them a good slap, Mick.
Beat them. Beat them up.
Yeah, they didn't stand up for your rights, so they deserve a slap.
Fucking feminists. I don't like the feminists. They make me really angry. So I also wanted to ask you, have you heard about, now I don't think this is true. No, I have a few theories on this. Okay, right. So migrant children being adopted. So Mexican migrant children in America being adopted, but they've been taken away from their parents and they're being adopted into family. So obviously you can't adopt. So it's essentially kidnapping. You can't adopt. You can't adopt somebody who's not been given up for adoption. You know. So is it?
Yeah.
But is this real? And shh, being loud.
There's no real way of knowing whether it's real or not unless you've experienced this yourself. Again, whether it's a distraction story or not, it doesn't really matter. Again, it's the system that needs to be changed, and the only people that can change the system are us.
Well, I mean, we're English. We can't. It's Americans, really.
Well, it's again, yeah. I mean, us as humans on in the shared realm or whatever. Like, I mean, it's.
There was supposedly 2,000 children who went missing, wasn't there? Supposedly 2,000.
I have no clue. This is all new on me.
So obviously, you know about all of the Mexicans that have been captured and round up and shipped back to Mexico, or the illegal immigrants, and the kids were kept separate from the parents while the parents were being interrogated, and then the kids have just disappeared. But how do we know that there was ever a record of these children? How do we know that these children are real? Also, if these children are real, then obviously they've gone to somewhere very suspicious. So, as far as I know, they are given to the custody of relatives that live in the US. Yeah, that's not what I was reading earlier, though. So it makes me question
Well,
a lot of
right.
things. Is that
See,
real? Is it
what you got to remember as well is back in the
robot? Eat, 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 eat.
late hundreds, I think. Or
Still robot. Oh no, it's still robot.
right. Am I back?
Yes. Go back
Smoke
in
you
the
doing it,
late
Jamie.
something. It's all right. I'll forgive you.
But yeah, back in the late 1800s, there were basically loads of orphans that went missing from England and ended up in Australia. It was like hundreds of thousands. I mean, it was a hell of a lot of kids. So I'm just wondering if the same sort of thing is kind of happening over there now. And because there's a whole big conspiracy thing about kids disappearing and almost kids being gathered and moved to new areas and
So
yeah,
to
basically been
repopulate or
given to the
disperse the
families of those
population.
areas and stuff. But I don't know. Again, I've been out of the loop for a while, so
No, but you
a
can
lot of these
speculate.
conspiracy
You
things
know,
are new.
this is
But
not a.
yeah, no, it's anything where kids are involved is dodgy as hell because, like I say, most of us know now you've got the Epstein rings, the Jimmy Savile rings, and they're all attached to the elites and this kind of thing. And
Yeah.
who's in charge of all these operations? Who's the ones that gather all these kids? Agencies attached to the system. And so yeah, no, unfortunately my head always goes to the dark places, and
So does mine.
I'm
So
thinking
does mine.
they'd be lucky to end up with some family they don't know in America. That's the best that's can happen for them, like, because I'm just thinking like what's probably going to happen to most of them. So
Yeah, my mum was telling me the other day that she was reading something on Facebook. One of her friends had sent her this article of a family in Disneyland, Disney World, the American one.
Florida
Disneyland,
one.
Disney World. Yeah, but I can't remember if it's called Disneyland or we're just going to go with American Disney. We're just going to go with that. That'll be fine. So there was some kids in the American, this kid in the American Disneyland, Disney place, and they'd gone to the bathroom. One, don't fucking leave your children unattended in Disneyland. Stupid decision. Okay, but the kid was in the bathroom, and there were gangs or like men, women, whatever, in these places that have got loads of children, who will basically take your kid, shave their head, change their clothes, and off they pop. Obviously shave the head because you're gonna, like, I would spot my kid's hair like from a mile off. That's the first thing I'd spot with my boy. They'd stolen this kid, taken her to the bathroom, shaved her hair, put a hat on her, changed her clothes. And there's a thing with Disney. Apparently, if a kid goes missing in Disney, they close all the entrances and the whole place goes on lockdown. And they managed to find the little girl, and she'd had her head shaven and stuff. But it's just it's obviously things like that have always happened. Oh, my cats are fighting. Can you not? They're just like staring at each other like this, like. Shit, they've stopped staring at each other now, but they were.
As soon as you're going to move the camera, yeah.
They were proper staring at each other. You can see the black one there and the other one there. They were proper staring at each other. But yeah, like obviously these things have always happened, but it was just, I don't want to say interesting because it wasn't. It was interesting to hear of the different ways that people steal your kid. Yeah, and you know why they're going to. You know what's happening to those kids. You know what we know. It's nothing innocent. They're not stealing them to go bake cookies. You know.
No, and again, like I say, this is. I mean, it's an issue I hope none of us let go. The whole paedophile ring thing. I mean, So yeah, excuse us if it makes some of you out there uncomfortable, but it's certainly something we're going to keep bringing up well, certainly something I'm going to keep bringing up on this podcast.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want people to forget. I don't want people to forget. And like you hear of these kids being stolen and the parents weren't watching. And I know as a parent, it's very difficult to watch your child constantly. But when I'm out with my boy, he is permanently holding my hand. Like I see all these other parents running their kids off to school and their kids just running in front of them or running behind them, and I'm like, I could have taken you haven't turned around in about 45 seconds. I could have taken your kid in that time. Like your kid's behind you, I could have just grabbed
Poor
your
Freddie.
kid and ran.
Cut the apron
Like,
strings. Come on.
No, I refuse.
45 seconds without looking at him out in public. Come on, Kate.
No, you have to. I don't care what you're a robot. You're a robot, so I'm just going to talk over you. Yeah, no, I definitely think you've got to watch your kids, especially if they're walking behind you. Like if you can still see them in your peripheral vision, I can understand not like staring at them. But if they're walking behind you on a busy road, you've got to you don't let your kids walk behind you on a busy rod. Don't do that, especially on the school run.
All right, fair enough. I can get next to a busy road. All right.
But even on a B road, even on a little road, although my little road's probably different to your little road. Like my road's a small road and it has about.
So we've got an A road running
right
through the middle of the village, literally right through the middle of the village. We've got an A road, so yeah.
But yeah, like especially during the school run, don't let your kid walk behind you. They're going to get taken.
No, that's just fear-mongering bullshit. Your kids are very highly unlikely to get taken, but obviously, yeah, do be aware.
No, I don't think it is fear-mongering bullshit. I don't. But I live in a different area to you. My area has 100,000
your children are
people
much more
living in it.
likely to get taken from you by the social workers, and then something will happen to them once they get into the care system than actually probably get like abducted from you, if you know what I mean. I mean, I'd imagine there's a lot more abused kids in the care system than there are that have been abducted from their parents, is all I'm saying there. And again, this is not a fact, so please do feel free to go and fact check me if you wish. This is just my opinion.
I know I'm overprotective, and you know I'm overprotective.
I didn't know you were over fucking protective. Yeah. Poor Freddie.
Like in our conversations outside of YouTube, we obviously we chat a lot, and he knows how bad I am with my son. Like I don't let him. Don't like him going on the monkey bars. Sorry, that is your face. I don't like him. I know. I'm sorry, I'm Jade. Shade. Yeah, I don't like him going on the monkey bars in case he falls and breaks his leg. I don't let him do anything. Don't let him do anything. He doesn't know what a stick is. No, I know. I'm just a product of being scared.
You need to start letting Dano take him to the park. Yes. You stay at home, let Dano take him to the park.
No.
And what you do is you sit and you take lots of drugs and chill the fuck out.
No, it's not going to happen at all, ever. But yeah, those are all the things that I wanted to talk to you about today. Those are all the stuff. I don't know if you want to drop the link, see if anybody wants to join us.
Oh yeah, we can do.
We haven't. We've been chatting for an hour and a half almost. On that side. And my tablet.
Yeah, to be fair, we're not really getting too many questions and stuff in the chat at the moment. So
no, people might want to join and pop in if you want to get Richard on. Get Rick to talk about the gays. Rick, come talk about the gays.
Go on to bed, a little bit.
What? pussy. What are you doing?
Yeah, anyone there? If just stuck the link in the chat, feel free to come on, join us. Have your say. Keep us talking.
Tell me what you think. So I'm just trying to get my chat back up. Apparently, when I unplug things, things turn off.
Really?
So no, things that should be charged turn off. So I've just unplugged my tablet and it's turned itself off.
New hardware.
So it does not like. Yeah.
Like I said, we'll give it another 8 minutes with the link out. If nobody joins us, we'll wrap up at 10:30. Call it a nice 1.5 hour show, eh?
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Cool.
Sounds good to me. Just trying to, like I said, get. Okay, thanks for that. Thanks for that.
And to be fair, the public have not spoken. They obviously don't want us talking because they're not asking questions. So
Don't like it. Don't like it. So I'm gonna start looking into setting up gaming more. Gaming YouTube. It's not words.
Yeah. Well,
Where's
again,
our
no. If you do figure it out, let me know because I'd like to stream a bit of Rocksmith myself. So yeah, it's.
Yeah, if I do, I'm gonna have a play around tomorrow. I'm gonna do my I'm going to the doctor's tomorrow. Again about my chest. And I'm gonna do my nails. I might pop on Jamie's in the morning if he streams in the morning. I'm sure he said he was streaming in the morning, so I might.
Well,
pop
sometimes
on
he does, sometimes he doesn't. I'm very rarely awake for his morning shows. So.
Yeah, I know you are. Like, you
likes my sleep.
My chat's taken a year to load up. I apologise, guys. Bear with me. I don't think anybody's.
No, we've not had any more chat since.
Oh, it's okay then. Well, then I'm not
You've
ignoring
been
anyone.
abandoned, I think. But no, it's been a good show today. Actually, to be fair, we've gone pretty fluid. We've had good engagement from chat.
Yeah.
Nice to have validation 119 there, a new addition.
That's one of my bestest friends. But yeah. So, one sec.
That's right. Just abandon me to talk to your boyfriend right in the middle of our show. Look, we have scheduled every week 9 p.m.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah. So if Jamie's on tomorrow, then I'll probably pop on tomorrow while I'm doing my nails. And yeah, then I'd try and figure out how to stream on YouTube from my Xbox without the use of a capture card, because I have 2 capture cards, but they're garbage and they don't work. That might just because I'm not very good with technology. I'm not sure. So
I'm not really sure what that is, to be fair.
It's basically a box that you plug into your Xbox, and then you plug it into your laptop or your desktop, and it processes the image on the screen onto the image, and the image and the sound. It's basically a recording. It's a camera.
So we've got Mick here, so hopefully it's Mick anyway. So maybe ending the stream early.
Yeah, it is.
How's it going, Mick?
Hello, Mick. How you doing, mate?
Good. How are you?
I'm not too bad.
Do you know if you could go somewhere and you had it was loads better off than you are now, it was a better place to be, and you was better off than the locals, would you go?
You mean like the people who retired to Spain? Yeah, I would.
So you can't really put your hatred towards them people who's getting that privilege, can you? It's the people who's giving them it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But did you say like the anger towards the person who's receiving it?
Pardon?
The anger seems to be focused towards the person who's getting it.
Yeah.
Like the comparison is between the 2 people rather than the person who's giving it out.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I
agree
get what
with
you're
that.
saying there, because I did tend to get a bit, into it early with the actual people coming over. But no, you're probably right. Yeah, no, the anger should be directed, at the people, giving out, which is kind of what I was saying. Like, it's up to us to change the system, but I didn't say it quite so eloquently as that.
Because it's like the people that I was talking about last week who live in Chelmsley Wood, just over there, and they'll have kid after kid after kid after kid just to keep getting money, and so they can stay on their arse. And as soon as like one kid turns 18, they'll just pop out another kid just to keep getting money and to stay on that gravy train. And is it their fault that we're allowing them to do things? Because I feel like often a lot of people in human nature will often choose the lazier and easier path than they will to try and make better of themselves. Like, these people could earn money, they could be doing better than they are. You know, they could be contributing, but instead they're not. They're choosing to sit on their butt, which then is bad for people like you, Dee, who physically you can't work. And I know we crack jokes.
I mean, all right, again, I say I can't work. I can't imagine anyone wanting to hire me to come, because like I say, I get about 2 hours where I can be out of bed and do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd mean getting to work, getting back from work, and doing a job. I just can't imagine somebody that's going to hire me for the amount of time that I could work. So don't get me wrong. If somebody wants to offer me an hour a job day, right, I'll do it 7 days a week. Right, don't get me wrong. I no one out there offering that kind of job. Yeah.
And that is where, do those people ruin it for you, or does the government by making it available ruin it for you?
It's the system now. It used to be most of these decisions were done on an individual basis. Nowadays, it's done on a point basis.
Mm-hmm.
So it's ridiculous. And the point, sorry,
Susan.
Yeah, it's me, mum again.
Susan.
Hiya, Kate.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Got Mick there as well.
Good. Oh, who?
All right.
Mick. Do you remember him? He came down and visited.
Oh, Mick. Yes.
I'm trying to put my camera on.
He hasn't got a fucking clue.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hello, Mick.
All right.
That was ages ago.
Yeah, it was a while, wasn't it?
Well, it's about time you came back down, don't you think?
Yeah, it's going to be shortly. It's not going to be too long.
Rainy Plymouth. Ugh. It's the wettest place I've ever lived in, and I've lived all over the country.
It's not windy. Like, it's windy and rainy up here all the time. So anywhere is better than anywhere.
Cakes, we're talking about the weather, not our bottoms. We haven't got windy bottoms.
It was the wet part that cracked me up, not the windy bottom.
That's even worse than my mind.
It was the wet part. But how did you watch the end of the stream and see the comments last week and all the people loving you?
No.
Susan.
I will now.
Yeah, they were saying now you look younger than me and everything.
Yeah, I started it off. And I was like, Dee, how does your mom look better than you and younger than you? Because you do. You look younger than Dee. And then everybody in the comments was just agreeing with me, saying how good you look. So definitely go and read them. So everybody was loving you.
Thank you, everyone.
Aww.
Bastard.
I really appreciate it. Oh, that's amazing to know.
Aww.
Okay, you lot, I'm letting you go.
Look up on the screen. Oh, there you
What?
go. Look
What?
up on the
What?
screen. There, even you should be able to read up here.
I
Where the
can't
mouse is,
read
look.
that.
You know, here,
It
look.
says-
Where's the mouse? There, look. See where the mouse cursor is on the screen. Look. Dee's mum is awesome. Jennifer Winterburn. Look.
That looks like Does mum is something with that.
Well, it doesn't. It says Dee's mum is awesome.
Hi, woman.
No, I'm very stumped, but I'm very awake. So I am going to watch Points of View that I recorded earlier.
She watches lots of television.
I am.
I don't know what points
you
of view
can tell
is.
It's
I'm sorry.
a lovely little program for Sundays on TV.
There
I
we
love
go.
my TV.
Go on, you young looking old woman.
I want to know what they are saying so I can compare it with what I think. And they just, they are so corrupt. And they are liars. MPs,
Okay.
MPs.
Oh, we don't
government,
like them.
everything.
Oh, yeah, we don't like them.
I
They're not
haven't-
very kind.
Sorry, I stopped you leaning over so much. There you go.
Oh, hang on. Let
Oh,
me.
actually, careful. You don't go looking down your top, man.
Oh.
I
Now I've
love
got my
that she's
sexy.
leaned further back.
Look, I've got my sexy top on. It falls down one side.
You dress better than my mum.
Like
She's
that.
gonna hate me if she watches
She
this.
gets a strike in a minute. She's going to end up porn bombing us. My own mum is going to fucking porn bomb us.
I'm going before I get you all in trouble. Bye bye. Carry
Yeah,
on.
we're talking to
I shall watch this tomorrow
All right.
yeah,
then.
we were talking to his mum.
after my Points of View.
Okay, we will see you
Night,
tomorrow.
See you next week.
Night. See you
Night,
next week.
It's gonna be a
Bye.
weird thing now, isn't it? At the end.
I love it. Yeah, I love
Oh.
your mum coming to talk to her.
Cheers. Love
Night,
you.
night.
Your mum's cooler than you do.
I know. It's terrible.
She's got a better following than you as well.
I know. I know.
So let's catch up. From my experience of suffering disabled on my own over the years, I'm starting to attend groups to help improve disabled funding services for other people as they are local authority run groups. I feel like I honestly haven't come across anybody that's struggling for money and it not being their fault. You know, I don't come across those kind of people.
Not for any
often,
long period of time, yeah, because like I say, it does take a while to get benefits sorted sometimes, and you can suffer and that in those periods. But yeah, well, once things are sorted, no, you shouldn't really be suffering because, well, unless you've been gypped, because unfortunately, like I say, the system is gypping a lot of people, and luckily, like I say, I do get enough. I'm not one of those people that's suffering.
Yeah, but you also don't drink and you also don't smoke copious amounts. You know, you don't.
Yeah, but I smoke lots of weed, so I mean, it's not like, I mean.
But you don't. We're not going to go into that, but that's doesn't come out of your budget. I mean, we can go into it if you want to. But from my understanding, you make back what you buy.
No. Not even
close.
close.
I thought you did. Oh, I thought you did. But even so, you're not. I don't think that you would put yourself into impoverished conditions just to have a smoke. I don't think you would.
You don't know me very well, unfortunately. Weed, food, no, weed, place to live, food, everything else.
Do you know what, Southern D? That's how you see it right now, right? If you had nothing, you'd see that in a different order. You'd see food, roof over your head.
Yeah, no, you're probably right there, but
exactly.
Moment,
so you're.
This is.
Yeah, in that mindset. But have you ever been like, I can't buy any weed because I can't go into my overdraft, or do you go into your overdraft?
Oh yeah, my overdraft is just my part of my money now. Like, I mean, yeah, I manage because, like I say, I've worked most of my life, so I've got a pretty decent overdraft. But it's always like I'm always in the overdraft, so I'm paying like 20p a day every day for stuff.
but yeah. So I feel like Jen's a completely separate thing, because I have never come across. I don't know if Jen smokes or if she drinks or if she's fickle with money, but having to spend £400 a month on medication is sickening. That's disgusting. I don't agree with that at all. But I don't want to piss Jen off.
Medication.
Pardon?
You pay premiums when it's not, and because the NHS subsidises. Like I say, that's why we all get our prescriptions for free. But if you actually, if you check out how much the NHS has to pay for those medications, it's ridiculous.
I don't get my scripts for free.
All right, you pay, what is it? Well, when last time I paid for a prescription a couple of years ago, oh, fucking hell, it's £7.50 last time I did it.
£9. And then a private script is £11, I believe.
Should
and some meds. Pardon?
Sorry. I want to say, should medicine be a profit-making organisation? Because it seems like now it's all run by corporations and these CEOs and things, and it's all about making the shareholders money. So it's not a matter of we can make this and it costs us this to make it. We can make a little bit of profit. It's what illnesses are curing and how much are you willing to pay for us to cure that illness. That's the way they're playing it now.
Yeah. Jen's just put, I'm a string force when I get charged up. Many organisations have told me I'll make a big change with my drive to improve services and voice for people, for more funding and services to improve life. That's great. That really is amazing. And I just want to pick up on what Stephen Brady just said. They're all liars, our MPs. They don't give a crap about us, but only give a crap about themselves. I find it very funny that in the space of half an hour, you've gone from MPs only caring about immigrants to them only caring about themselves.
There we go. That one's finally popped up on here now.
Amazing. But yeah, that's well.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
doing
see, what I should have done actually
is
talk when my mum was here. I should have got her to talk a bit about this because on the NHS she can get some kind of injection for her pain, but she's only allowed a certain amount a year on the NHS, and if she wanted any more, she'd have to buy. It's a ridiculous mess. It's really quite. It's like £395 an injection or something. It's really quite an expensive thing. So there is that option for her. So that's why I know that there are these really expensive other options out there. So I mean, again, it's not. This isn't just me guessing. And again, maybe next week if my mum interrupts again, where if you remind me, I'll ask her to talk about it a bit.
I'm also attending UCLan University Central Lancashire with my hospital physio to give seminar talks to doctors on what it's like to live with spine problems and fibromyalgia. That's really good. And I really do hope that you get somewhere. Unfortunately, like Mick says, there's profit in keeping people sick. There's profit in you're paying this money for that. It makes me think, are there alternatives outside of modern medicine that you could be utilizing that would be cheaper and more beneficial to your health? If you've been keeping up with the stream, which I know you have, Jen, you'll know that I absolutely detest clinical pharmaceuticals, and I will try to find a natural route wherever I possibly can. Like with my anxiety, I've been trying more thought what's the word I'm thinking of? Thought exercises to try and get myself out of that, which I understand that it's a mental issue and it's not a physical issue, although it does affect me physically. If you saw our stream 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was having that abdominal pain where my anxiety.
Well, this is another thing we in the Western world need to get our heads around. Mental and physical are not separate.
Well, no, obviously not.
The other and vice versa, and this is the thing. I think a lot of people are starting to go to more Eastern remedies or homeopathic remedies, at least, because they attack both levels, like not just the body, not just the mind. It's a combination of both. So
Well, like I was saying the other week, that my anxiety had caused my large intestine to become inflamed, and I honestly thought I was having to have my appendix out. I honestly thought I had appendicitis and that I was dying. I was fucking
what's
terrified.
suggested as one of the symptoms when you were one of what it could be when you were describing the symptoms to me. So yeah, I mean,
yeah, me and you had a long chat about it, didn't we? And I had a long chat with a few other people, and I was like, "This is where it's hurting. This is," and I was in agony. Like again, I was talking to D, funnily enough, and really. Was you on 1v1me? And I was saying that since I've had my son, I don't tend to whinge about pain. I don't tend to. I feel like pain's it's not as intense as it used to be, or mentally I react differently to pain than I did before I had my son. Now, obviously, that's because I've gone through childbirth. So when I was feeling this pain, I was just kind of like, okay, well, it wasn't as bad as pushing a watermelon out of my vagina. So, but it was still enough to be bringing tears to my eyes. Absolutely. Well, no, he actually wasn't very big. He was like 6 pounds, 12, something like that. He was only little.
You exaggerate. Fucking hell.
I know. Oh, well, yeah, no, I'm a millennial. I'm supposed to. It's my job. It's the rules. But yeah, no, so those weren't words.
I'll put you off your flow. It's my fault.
It's terrible. And now with this chest pain that I've been getting, that she's completely separate, I managed to cure the abdominal pain purely and only by the doctors telling me that I wasn't dying. Literally, like, my anxiety just went, because each day it was getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm one of those people who it takes me a lot to go to the doctors. Like, I had the flu and I was like in bed, like, dying. And Dan was like, "You need to go to the doctors." And I just laughed in his face. And I was like, "No, I don't." And legit, the only reason why I'm going to the doctors tomorrow is because I can't work and I need to have a sick note. I hate that I have to go to the doctors to prove that I am not well. Like, I can barely stand up. It is ridiculous. Like, and I have a good work ethic, and anybody who knows me knows I absolutely adore my job. Like, I love it so much. Yeah, to have to go to the doctors and waste the doctor's time is ridiculous.
Oh, it does, because the doctor hates it as well. Because when I first fractured my spine, I had to get all that sorted and stuff for my work. And honestly, I'd go to the doctor and he'd be like, "Why are you here?" And he'd be like, "Well, I need a doctor's note." He'd be like, "Well, you can just ring reception for that." But whenever I ring reception, they say, "No, you need a doctor. You need to make an appointment with the doctor before they give you a note." Yeah, well, so no. The system is geared to fuck people up, and I mean, well, Mick, I mean, you're not a stinking fucking vegan, but you're
a robot, dude.
Live a healthy
robot
fucking life.
Can you pass me that
Style.
Still a robot.
Yeah, I just got a couple of fuckings at the end. That was it.
Yeah. Am I back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I was just saying, I mean, you're not a stinking vegan, Mick. You just live your healthy lifestyle and you don't choose a label and stuff. But I mean, do you
why are you firing so many shots at me tonight?
It's just so easy.
We're supposed to be friends, D.
Yeah. Banter, it's banter, mate. Banter.
God, sorry, what was your question to me? I interrupted you.
Basically, do you get ill a lot?
No. Last time I went to the doctors, they says, when you move back, I thought I'd moved out of the area. And I was thinking, how often do these people around here go to the doctors? If you think that about me, like, it was about 10 years since I've been. No, I don't know.
I don't remember before I before I got signed off a few weeks ago. I don't remember. I don't remember the last time I went to the doctors. I don't like them. They make me angry. I adore your passion, Dee and Cakes. That's why I love your channel so much, discussing your topics and how lovely you both are. Yeah, I mean, like, me and Dee have quite opposing opinions, but we're still sat here, and, like, he's one of my favorite. No, that way. I like Mick too, but he's one of my favorite people in the world. Like, we could disagree on so many things, but I don't think I would ever, like, I don't think I'd ever fall out with you. You'd have to, like, punch my child in order for me to fall out with you. I don't think that's gonna happen.
No, not as long as he does as he's told. He's fine.
Well, I know how bad Jen gets on a daily basis. She's same as Dee, housebound and wheelchair bound as well. She can hardly walk, and she gets £15 the last of the month, as she had to spend her money on her health stuff. Yeah, and that isn't good. That isn't good at all. I want to ask if she smokes and drinks, but I like both of you. I love Jen. I think she's great. So
yeah,
I don't want to then.
I think I've seen Jen smoke before.
Because
I don't think she smokes cannabis or anything though, just cigarettes. Like, I think, yeah. Don't quote me. I'm not Jen. I'm not here to put words in her mouth. But
because I don't want to bring this up either, but it makes you, for those of you who know what's been going on in their world, it makes you understand. Like, I absolutely love you for how honest you were the other day. I absolutely love that. That's exactly how I would be. I don't have that body confidence, but I absolutely love you for that. Like, power to you. Like, 100%. I was saying to Dee, like, fucking do it. Have fun. Dee's just like, shut up, Cakes. Why are you? No.
Oh no, I just didn't know you'd finished, so I'll wait until you finish and no.
Steve, I'm getting you involved in some of the groups, bringing some happiness and hope to other disabled folk. I know you'll love it, and how kind-natured you are anyway. Oh, you guys are adorable. I'll put you in my pocket. I don't have pockets, so I can't do that. But if I did have pockets, I would. Although I don't think a wheelchair would fit in pockets, other than pockets of giants.
Cakes, do you know you said you've been on that vape for 7 years?
Yeah. Yeah,
So how long was you How long was you on cigarettes for?
10 years.
10 years. So at some point you're going to outdo the amount of time that you was on the cigarettes, aren't you?
Yeah.
If you don't pack
Well,
them.
so I smoked from the age of 10 till 20. Well, till I fell pregnant with my son, which was at 19. But then I started smoking again a couple of months after he was born because my ex-boyfriend cheated on me, and it was just, I wanted a cigarette.
And
you know how it
an
is.
excuse.
I did. I needed an excuse. So I started smoking again, and then I think my boy was born January 2013, and I started vaping in probably early 2014. So not as long as I said the other day. My maths was wrong. I hadn't actually thought about it.
Have you ever thought that you might be a part of, you might be a social guinea pig?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And you're fine with that?
I mean, aren't we all in some way or another by what we do in day-to-day lives?
There's some consequences to things that are unknown, aren't there? Good or bad. And you doing something that is going to have more than likely bad outcome, isn't it?
I personally think vaping is better for you than smoking. It's by no means clean, it's by no means good for you, but I think that it's a better alternative to smoking cigarettes. If that was your question, you're a little bit fuzzy, and I'm a little bit deaf. I can't quite make out everything that you're saying.
So who has the most power? Is it the nicotine or you? Are you in control of the nicotine, or is the nicotine in control of you?
Do you know, I don't think that it's a nicotine thing. I literally think it's a habit thing. I think that I like the feeling of Is that an addictive thing? I do know. I don't. I like
Well,
the
see,
feeling of where it hits
this
the
is
back of
saying
my
me
throat
and,
and burns.
me and Mick kind of had a little discussion about this the other day with Jamie, I think it was. Like, I mean, do you know
You're talking about
you're
me.
no, not you, but it was like, do you know you're addicted to something, or do you think you just like something, and could it be the addiction really, and not just you liking it? And it was kind of along those lines. Like, I mean,
I think you can tell you're addicted to something when you can't go without it, but I don't think that it's the nicotine that I'm necessarily addicted to. I think it is the habit, and I think it is the. I mean, I have inhaled things into my lungs for over half of my life. You know, since I was 10, and I'm 27 on Saturday. So, you know, I have been doing this for such a long time, and the only time, and I went cold turkey and didn't smoke as soon as I found out I was pregnant with my son. I stopped smoking completely. So it's a really difficult question to answer, because I don't think it's the nicotine, Nick. No, I don't. But again, I don't know. I could just be saying that because I don't want it to be. You know.
Well, let's say something like, would you admit if something had a pure control over you? Like, say,
oh
like
yeah,
a
no, I
heroin
have.
addict.
Yeah, no, I have done.
Hang on, though, I'll just finish. It's
Sorry.
like,
Yeah, sorry.
if we like something, we can then, the mind can justify it and saying it enjoys it. Because if you listen to somebody who smokes cigarettes, at some point in their life, they can say, I could pack it tomorrow, I actually like smoking cigarettes. I enjoy it, right? Now, the thing is, you enjoy feeding the habit. Because once that habit is broke, you realise I no longer crave them. So it was only the feeding of the habit, the satisfaction of giving the habit what it wants feels good. Do you see what I mean? And then you justify and say, well, I actually enjoy it. How can you enjoy dragging someone into your lungs? A foreign body.
It's a really difficult question to answer.
here, meet Mick Cakes. He's the master
No,
of
I love
difficult
it.
fucking questions to answer.
No, I love it. I'm going to come on to that comment in a minute, Fedor. I used to smoke weed, and I used to smoke weed quite a bit from the age of 15 to it's because he's a lot closer than normal. He's more normally all the way over there, but his head's a lot closer to me than it normally would be. But yeah, so from the age of 15 to when I felt about 3 months before I fell pregnant with my son, I was smoking weed a lot. And then one day I realized that I was abusing the drug because I was using it to get to sleep. So in my mind, I was addicted to being able to sleep. Now I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's how it was. And it was like, I don't want to be dependent on something. And I understand that that's very contradictory, because I probably am quite dependent on this. But I think I do understand the difference between being I think I do understand the whole addiction thing, and I am definitely addicted to tea. There's a lot of things that are completely harmless that people are addicted to. Yeah.
It's a harder one to recognise when it hasn't got a payoff as that's felt in a way other than enjoyment.
Mm.
You know, like a drug can have a psychoactive effect. You can have a different feeling and walking about in a different state. But when it's something like food or your vape or something like that, it's a different. It's not recognisable in the same way. It's in disguise almost.
Yeah. Just want to go on to Fedor's comment. Lung issues from dodgy vape pens that produce some really bad toxin. And I've heard of some dodgy vape distributors exist, though a few cases about it in the USA. So they were actually cannabis vapes. They weren't the standard vapes that you see people vaping on a daily basis. And there's the Chinese ones where people are getting popcorn lung and stuff like that. I think with anything, when you're putting it into your body, you need to have it from a reputable source. You need to know where it's coming from, and you need to trust the people. So I trust the people in my vape shop, that they're giving me the best that they can give me. And they're the best in my area.
I just stop you there. Why are you trusting the people in your vape shop? They're only the middleman. They're gonna have a nice smile on your face. They could be your best friend. It has nothing to do with the product.
They're the doctor in the big pharma loop.
Yeah.
Because
I'd
I
say,
know
yeah.
where they get their products from, and I've spoken to them for the past 4 years, so I know where they're. I know that all the brands that they use are official. Have I got a box? Can you see a box of coils on the desk, babe? It should say Aspire. It's right in front of you by the candle in the middle. Black
Product
box.
placement. Product
Yep.
placement.
Oh, it's
And
not
you know
Aspire. I was wrong.
you're against pharmaceuticals, aren't you? So you're more into natural remedies, aren't you? You're away from pharmaceuticals. But when it comes to the thing that you're putting in your mouth all the time, it's a pharmaceutical version of something that you give up the natural version of it for that.
Say that last bit again. You were very.
You give up the natural version of smoking for an artificial version that's pharmaceutical based.
But I don't, because the thing is that I can feel the difference in my lungs from smoking and from vaping. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can breathe a lot more than I could when I was like 19 and still smoking. I cough a lot less in the mornings. I feel a lot less shit in the mornings as well. Like the mornings are horrible as a smoker.
The thing is, what you're not saying is I don't cough in the morning. I feel good in the morning. It's like, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I haven't said that it's good for you. I haven't said that it's good for you. That's the thing. I've said I think it's better than smoking. So for me to, but at the same time, I ain't going to judge you for smoking. You know that it's bad. You know that it's wrong. You know that you're fucking up your lungs, and I know that you smoke as well, Mick. So, but what I was just going to quickly show you is I'm not going to show you the whole code just in case somebody just try and fake this. But on every single packet, there are codes. On every single thing that I buy, there are codes where you can go to the website and you can check to make sure that it's not a counterfeit product. And that's what I like. And Dee's smiling in the background. But these are all well-known brands that I use, and that cost a lot of fucking money. So I know that they're not the ones that are going to cause me immediate damage, such as the ones that are causing popcorn lung and the cannabis ones that have killed people.
Yeah, but you see, I'm not criticizing. It's just an observation. What it's like.
I criticize all the time. I call him a guinea pig all the time. Yeah.
A habit forms like if you're walking over a field and you take the same path all the time. You start to get a path where there's no grass, then you get a rut. And the more times you walk over, the deeper that rut gets, and it's harder to get out of. So it's like you've got to break that behaviour, and if you can hold off for 72 hours, just 72 hours.
But I don't want to.
Why?
Because I like it. Because I am addicted to the feeling. Don't know if I'm addicted to the nicotine. I can't really say. But yeah.
Right.
Just pause.
Stop you there.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah.
When you say I like it, that's what I said about cigarettes. You don't like it, you like feeding the addiction, because that's what every addict says. I like it. So if you didn't have it, you wouldn't have to spend money. You wouldn't be drawing anything into your lungs. So that would be healthier. And it has more benefits. It has no downsides to it, does it? Well, then what you say is enjoyment, and that enjoyment is in a vicious loop. You're feeding the addiction.
But so are you with smoking. So I don't quite understand.
Yes, I know that. Well, I've broke a lot of them. Do you know what I mean? This is my final one. But I will pack this in. I've packed it in a few times, actually. I'll tell you what happens. I get bored. So it's a thing that happens in my
Needs
mind.
some
It changes
chicken
my
hands,
state.
yeah. So let me just catch up with the chat real quickly. If trolls put all their energy they throw into bullying, nasty comments, and actions against people into positive actions, what a much better world this would be. Maybe. I don't think a true troll would care, sadly. Telling them they could do better will probably make them worse. It is an interesting problem. Facebook did terribly. I think YouTube do a little better. The worst thing you can do is appeal to the sense of morality with a troll. And then edge of reality. This is the comment that these comments here. Vaping can't be bad for you, otherwise they wouldn't be banning it. I just like cigarettes and alcohol, Vlad. When are they going to ban those? It's a known fact that those do what they do. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry. When are they going to ban those? It's a known fact what those do to people, and they aren't banning it here. It's advertised on billboards here, Vlad. When Tabasco I think that's tobacco. Yeah, it is. Tobacco advertisements got completely banned. Yeah, I don't actually think I see it. Maybe I just don't notice them. I don't see them advertising vapes. But what Vlad said, vaping can't be bad for you, otherwise they wouldn't be banning it. I don't think it's a case of whether it's bad for you or whether it's good for you. Unfortunately, I think it is a case of money and the amount of tax that tobacco companies pay to the governments, and I think it's the amount of money that smoking puts into the economy. I honestly don't think that it's anything to do with its healthiness or unhealthiness. It is purely monetary based. I don't know what you two think.
Yeah, I agree. It's all money rules, isn't it? It's like McDonald's is killing people, but to pack in killing people, people have to lose the jobs of killing people, so we can't have that. So it continues. It makes no sense.
Yeah, no, we live in a very oxymoronic system, so it's to be expected.
When McDonald's can have billboards at like the World Cup and stuff like that, I don't think we should be promoting McDonald's at sporting events. As an example, I don't think anything that is inherently bad for your health at all should be advertised at sporting events. Personally,
no, you won't be able to advertise anything in the system then, because there's not much we buy that isn't bad for us. Because most of it comes wrapped in plastic nowadays, and that's a known carcinogen. So that's bad for you for a start. Most of it's transported using toxic fume puffing out vehicles. I mean, there is just no way you can really purchase anything in this system and feel good about it. And if you do feel good about it, then you've lost your moral compass as far as I'm concerned.
I'd honestly like to see advertisements go completely so that we could stop living in such a consumer-driven society. That would be nice, and a corporate-driven society, and just stop with this making people think they need things when they really don't need things.
No, see, for me, it's got to go either way. We've got to stop flip-flopping. Like, well, we've got to fully get behind the corporations and just give them the control they've already got. Just acknowledge the control they've got. Fucking jump on board and things can fucking change, and we can crush the poor rich divide, because people will start working for corporations where you're getting a set wage, and depending on what corporation you work for, depends on how much money you get. So the lower wage will be getting paid a lot more, the higher wage you're going to be getting paid a lot less. Natural fucking way of destroying the rich poor divide. Or we can go back, realise that this system's absolutely fucked, and try and make a more fair, equal system. But I mean, there are other choices as well. That's just the two that came off the top of my head.
Well,
Go on. No, I was just going to agree with D. That's all. Go on.
I was watching a thing about money before, and it was this bloke, and he was on about a crash between a Porsche and a Golf, and he had put it on Facebook or something. Says the response was he deserved it, all this stuff, because it was Ferrari, and he was on about prejudice to the rich and all this. Then he's giving this seminar like how to make money. You haven't got to think by the hourly rate. You've got to think bigger than that. Well, aren't you? If you can't earn the money that you're thinking of in these huge numbers by putting the hourly rate in, then you're skimming everybody else. It's a con. It's all a con. You can't get these amounts of money without just taking the piss out of everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like communism didn't work because there was rich in them situations, wasn't there? But the theory behind it's right. But America's got the richest, put it to keep it.
No, you're right. Yeah.
So here's the thing: can you change it? Can you pull the system down, or do you just by example not participate in it so they can't get anything off you? Because you try and change it from the little numbers, I don't think it's possible.
Yeah,
You're pissing against it.
see, this is where I am a defeatist, unfortunately. No, like I say, on the whole, we've lost the battle now. The system's pretty much won. Yeah, there's a few people here and there that aren't happy with the system, and there seems to be a few more people starting to wake up to how corrupt it is. But the system's still going, still strong, and
it takes people to leave the system just to come away from it, not to try and destroy it, because it'll go against you, I think.
you know, with this amount of people about, I mean, if we bring the system down, we're still going to need to replace it with another system. I mean, even anarchy isn't this no rules system. Anarchy is no rulers and no masters. Like no masters, no slaves. It doesn't mean there's no rules in that anarchical system. So, I mean, yeah, we're always going to need a set of rules. But again, we're just going nuts at the moment with the amount of rules we've got.
Just think a big amount of the world that doesn't think like you. I think there's a group of people here that think differently to the rest of the world. And that group, in whole, is pretty small. But because you see the same faces, you see the same characters popping up all the time. So it's like there's new ones come in and out, but it's not a massive group. It's like when I went over on the Dells and says, Fat and Jazz got more views than Flat Earth. And the last, it's got millions. And look at that, it's like it's senseless. So you can have this illusion that you've got some power, but really the numbers are so small in the scope of things that we haven't got the power to do it. I know it sounds unempowering, but it's just a realistic look at it. Like, how could you?
Yeah, no, I agree pretty fully with you. So it's yeah, it's like when I say I'm defeatist and stuff. I don't mean to be. I'm just seeing it as I see it. It is, which may sound defeatist.
Well, you could make a difference if you just give them an excuse to get rid of you all, wouldn't you? And then your fears would come manifest, wouldn't they? The things that you say would happen to you would happen to you.
Yeah, self-perpetuating prophecy, basically. Yeah, I get what you mean.
You make it happen.
Yeah.
We live in a fucked up world.
No, it really is.
It's depressing. Where when you
see, I used to be.
Is it really though? Is it the world that's wrong, or is it just you say it that way? Like, let's say you're going to design heaven, right? Now you've got all these people in the world that like different things. There's only one place for heaven. How do you make it so it suits everybody? It has to be what it is right now. If it's hell, it's the same. It's like, so I think that's why you focus on it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I get you there. Don't get me wrong. But when I'm saying it's broken, like I say, it's literally just at the moment it's got away with itself. Like I say, wouldn't take a lot of little tweaks to get this system running a lot better for everyone.
Did you not see people waking up consciously? I say that quite a bit in all aspects of life. People seem to be more attuned these days.
See, unfortunately, I don't. Having gone away from the scene and come back, if anything, I see people still fast asleep and thinking they're wide awake. So, Because like I
I don't
say,
like that.
this is the thing. There are enough people in the truth movement that combined, there are enough to make a difference, but they're all too asleep fighting each other. Well, like I say, trying to claim how awake they are and fighting over issues that don't matter. I mean,
Yeah, how can you ever know how awake you are?
That's true.
How could you ever know that? How can you
well,
know what you don't know?
see, this is the thing. You can tell pretty what stage people are at by the way they talk and the way they interact, the words they use
Robot.
and stuff. And I mean, you still hear. So,
Robot.
am I back?
Yeah.
All right. You still hear people like preaching the peace and love and all this kind of stuff. Ignore the negative, and it won't happen, and all this kind of stuff. But you can see they're not living it, because like a few hangouts later, you'll see him spitting out vitriol and hate at somebody who's attacking love. And so, I mean, you can see people saying one thing and then doing the exact opposite with another sentence and stuff. So, I mean, that's how I gauge that most people are fast asleep still. And I'm not claiming myself as some fucking enlightened, fucking awake person. I mean,
Liar.
No, I'm really not. It's just like I say, I can certainly see when people are trying to fool themselves now, very clearly.
Well, how come
Maybe.
people can't see the root of things? How come they can't see, like, they're always like looking too close to, like, say that place where you are, Cakes. Was it no blacks after how long? 8 o'clock.
No. White people after 8 o'clock.
Right, yeah. So, whose fault is that?
Not my fault. Oh, why are you looking at
Well,
me?
is it black people's fault, or is it police's fault because they're not policing it properly?
So that's a really interesting thing that you should mention there about the police, because I was talking to me and my dad driving the other day. No, we weren't. That's a lie. We were about to get into the car and we saw this group of like 8 Asian lads ripping the contents of somebody's bag out of the bag, trying to find all the money and stuff, and then just ditched it all outside my dad's house. And we got into the car, my dad was like ranting and raving, and he was like, "So this wouldn't have happened, especially not where he was." He said that you'd always see a policeman on the beat down the road. So if something like that happened, you could run down to the policeman. Now, I can't verify whether that's true, because obviously I wasn't around back then, but my dad said he used to always see police, and now we never. I very rarely, unless I'm in the centre of my town, I would not see a police. If I sat outside my house for days at a time, I don't think I'd see a policeman for a month. You know, if I didn't go anywhere and just stayed and looking outside my window, I don't think I'd see a policeman for over a month. Now, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. If it's a policeman that's just on the beat, that's just making sure that like people aren't attacking each other in the middle of the street, then I'm all for it. It depends on.
Oh,
I know Dee's very not police. So.
Well, only because police aren't police anymore. That's why. I mean, again,
Yeah.
if police want to start being police, I'll be all police as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is my experience of the police. Somebody does something, the other person says it was them. The police come back, so we have no proof. There's nothing we can do, right? And if you do anything, we'll arrest you. It's like, well, who are you protecting there? Are you protecting me from them or them from me?
No, I am very much on the end of that. Yeah, no, I get that. There was no proof for something that happened to me when I was 16, #me too. And I said, well, right, then I'm going to get my friends and they're going to go around and beat the living shit out of him. And they said, well, if you do that, we'll put you and all of your friends in police custody, in like, hey, Trig, we'll lock you all up for them physically avenging me when the police weren't going to do anything about it. So
they're protecting
that's why.
them.
Exactly, they're protecting rapists, aren't they? Let's be honest here.
So whose fault is it? It's the people's fault for not holding our government to account.
Mm-hmm. And it's the whole. I mean, the justice system is corrupt as fuck as it is anyway. You know, this whole.
Yeah.
I say this whole having to have proof thing. Obviously, you need to have proof, but there are so many people that are getting away with crimes because there's not enough evidence.
Is one judge enough? Do you think? Is one man's decision enough when it's another man's liberty? Do you think there should be at least 3 judges at any one time, so it's like a fair decision?
Best of 3.
Yeah.
See, I think you need a judge that would be close to the victim, a judge that would be close to the perpetrator, and a neutral judge. Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I would see justice working.
I think you need them from all walks of life, wouldn't you? Not just those that's rich and privileged.
Jed just said that's why there's a jury.
Is that?
Yeah, but the jury is directed by the judge. The judge decides a sentence. You'll give a paedophile a few months while you give a burglar years. Do you see what I mean? So it's like there's nothing to do with the jury.
I've never been to court and I've never done jury duty, so I am somewhat useless in this conversation because
it's a moot point anyway because you're not entitled to a jury court anymore. So,
well, if you go to a magistrate's court, they know nothing about law. It's the clerk of the court that knows about the law. They advise the magistrates, so they have no. They're just counsellors and things. They have no understanding of the law really whatsoever.
Yeah. So what I've just said is actually a lie. I've never been in court where there's been a jury. I've been in court where I was sat in front of 5 people. Okay, story time. So Cakes was bullied immensely, and I don't just mean picked on and teased. I mean I had lads hit me over the back of the head with skateboards. I had I was beaten black and blue often, and one day it all just got too much to me, and I phoned the main girl, the main perpetrator, and I phoned her and I was like, I'm gonna fucking stab you if you don't fucking stop. Now obviously it was an empty threat. I'm not gonna go and stab anyone. I'm 5'4" and I was like size 8 at the time. I was tiny. Like I was just this little thing. I'm obviously not gonna go and stab somebody. And she had recorded the conversation. She took it to the police. And this was I was 14 or 15, I think. 15. Yeah, I was 15. She recorded the conversation on her phone and went to the police. The police came knocking at my door. They arrested me. They took my phone off me, and they took my friends' phones off them. They investigated it, and then they sent me. They charged me and said, right, you're going to. Jed's just said mute your mic. I think it's because you've got a little bit of feedback. They charged me and they said you're going to court. Is it charging before you go to court? I'm not quite sure. This was a long time ago, but they said I've got to go to court anyway. So I went to court, and I was sat in front of five judges. There was a main judge, and the judge explained to me that none of them are real like judges with the curly wigs. I don't know if that's a thing in England. No, okay, thank you. And they all said that they have normal jobs and that they're volunteers. And I was like, all right, then that's fair enough. So I was originally charged with threats to kill. And after I wrote, I thought that I'd really affected this girl. I thought that I'd really upset her. And that she was like genuinely scared of me. So I'd written an 8-page apology letter. She didn't even turn up to court, but I'd written an 8-page apology letter explaining how sorry I was, and explaining exactly why I'd done this and exactly what had happened to me. And the judges were shocked. Like they'd never seen anybody who had been like gone in with threats to kill with an 8-page apology letter, like sobbing and crying, and they didn't expect to see a 15-year-old girl in front of them. And the judges were so angry. They were like, this should not have come to court. Like, this should have been dealt with at the police station. You should have been cautioned and sent off on your way. And they ended up, they gave me the minimum sentence they possibly could, which was an 8-week referral order. And I had to do like 10 hours of community service where I just painted the little grey internet boxes, electric boxes for my community service. And I had to basically see a therapist for 8 weeks. But they were really angry, and they were like, this shouldn't have happened. So that's my only experience in court. Like I've never obviously been in front of a jury because I'm not a naughty person. But yeah, so for me, I found that I am always from that experience. No, from the 2 different experiences that I've really had dealing with the police, I've had the one where neither of them, they have believed me. On each side, they have taken the side of the perpetrator. They've taken the side of the criminal, or that, like, I have been the victim and I have not had my side taken. Like, when I was abused when I was 16, they didn't believe me, even though I was this like sad, shaken shell of a human, crying my fucking eyes out. Like, I mean, anybody can act, I guess. I mean, I act with my anxiety all the time and I pretend everything's okay. But they were like, I'm sorry, there is not enough proof, off you go. And then with this girl, even though she'd done all of this and all of this and all of this, and made people hit me over the back of I had a big gash in the back of my head. Like, even though she had done all of that, I was still the one who got into trouble. So I really struggle with the justice system that we have today. End of story time with Cakes. They're stunned. I've surprised them or bored them, and they're asleep.
What do you think makes it wrong? Rules that can't be broken, or for certain and things that haven't been considered. So it just either falls into this rule or that rule, and it's not really a fair way of doing things.
I don't really know what you just said because you sound all fuzzy and like you're in Australia.
Maybe I'll try muting while he talks.
Try again.
Forgot what I was saying. Forgot what I was saying. Smoking table.
Well, I just told you my story. All of that in one breath. Impressive, Cakes. Thanks, Vlad. I know. I could talk for England.
Yeah, no, unfortunately as well with Mick, you will find he very much speaks as he thinks it. So getting him to repeat himself is not always easy.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So bloody well listen the first time, woman.
I'm sorry for being deaf. Fucking A.
But yeah, Mick, yeah. I think I thought I heard you say something about whether the way we decide justice, like basically, is it right that we have to prove that somebody's done something or something along those lines? Sorry.
Well, we've got things based on rules that can't be broken. We have to fit it into this or that. It doesn't fit every situation. There's sometimes exceptions that we can't say, and it makes things unfair.
Yeah. And I think I mentioned something similar the other week about me trying to get a mortgage. That if they had a conversation with me, they'd probably give me a mortgage. But the fact that it's done by a point system and by physical written paper, I won't get a mortgage. Whereas if they actually heard my situation, then I would.
Yeah, no, and again, this comes to what I was talking about a little bit earlier, how things have switched from a truly individual basis to now treating everyone as like this test score, this average kind of thing, and yeah,
you have to meet certain requirements to pass grades. Like, yeah, it's based on a point score, not individually. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair,
standardized.
it really is. It does seem like it's getting us ready for this Chinese social crediting system that's going to be coming in. We're all like scored on a social basis, like how well we pay our bills, how we interact with people, just treat like people, live our everyday lives and stuff. Like, and yeah. So I mean,
Tell you what's a bit
it's
strange. Not
tiptoe.
them wireless cards that you just just hold it over the thing, and doesn't shopping go took on a different sort of. I'm just new to it, so it seems a bit odd. Not even typing your fucking PIN number in, just doing that.
Oh, contactless. Oh, I
Yeah.
love contactless. I have it on my phone
It's
where
sort
it
of
just needs my
lazy money or
fingerprint.
something. You don't even
See,
think about the money.
right. Yeah, it changes your mindset because you're not actually dealing with cash. So you're just like, I hope I've got enough in the account to afford this. Bing.
Well, you don't
But
even think of numbers, not even your PIN number.
well, yeah, no. Then was this? Is like I say, it's not so much that. Again, every time you're using your card, you're taking somebody's job away. Really, I mean, it's because well, it takes people to handle cash. Yeah, it's like the reason we can have like one person handling 10 tills in a supermarket now is because we're using these contactless cards and there's not real cash to deal with. And
Right, so before you would counterfeit money and you would get things and it could be found out or it could be a perfect counterfeit. Now, when it's all digital, what happens there? Somebody can just inject a load of numbers in and you don't know where they've come from or whether they're real or not.
I'd be more worried about them in taking numbers away or just shutting you out completely. But I mean,
Yeah, but what I mean is there's nothing physical there. There's no evidence of anything, is there? In the digital world, it can all be erased or created.
yeah.
I don't. There's still going to be a trail, isn't there?
Not if
really.
somebody knows what
It's
they're doing.
Well, no. I I know that I should use cash, but I am such a scared human being that I hate having cash on me. Because if I have my bag stolen or whatever, that's fine. I can get a new phone, I can get a new card, but I can't get the money back that I'd have stolen from me. So that's why I like to use my card because, like, I use my cards for everything. Yeah, or my phone. My phone, I just put my fingerprint on the back of my phone, and it boop boop.
I keep cold hard cash around.
Yeah. See, I honestly couldn't tell you where the money is. Well, there's like pound coins scattered across the bedroom floor, but
like I said, I told you yesterday, I think, Cakes, but yeah, I've actually
this
made my
morning.
first foray into precious metals. I bought my first bit of silver the other day, so I should be getting that on Tuesday. And yeah, I'm gonna start turning some of this paper money into metal.
So much is the silver. You buy by the ingot.
No, I just bought a 1 ounce coin, mate. I've literally, I've dipped my toe in. The next coin I'm going to be buying is a 1/10 of an ounce gold coin, which is going to cost quite a bit more. But yeah, I spent 20 pounds 20p on my first silver 1 ounce 999 silver coin. I'll do a video about it on my channel on Tuesday when it turns up.
I'm excited.
So are you going to make rings?
No. This is for me to stack to put away for my retirement pension.
Fucking hell. We're done.
So what happens if precious metal becomes no longer precious? Because gold's gone up, hasn't it, recently?
Yeah, it's all going up. But if it no longer becomes precious, then I've wasted this pretend money that was given to me by the government.
No, did you know, like money it's like, say you had old notes and they become obsolete, you can go and cash them in and get some other ones. But if the actual thing that you've got becomes worthless, what happens there? You just lose everything?
It would be very hard for it to become completely worthless because there are collectors out there that keep the market up anyway.
Yeah, but say
And
you didn't know they could
it's
make
not.
synthetic diamonds. They might end up making synthetic gold and synthetic silver.
Yeah, no, that they may very well do, but again, it's at the moment that's not happening, and whereas a lot of people might want to start putting money in a bank account for their retirement, I'm choosing to put my retirement funds into precious metals.
So why do you think gold's gone up? Why would the
'Cause
price go up? All
inflation. That's all it needs. That's all I need is for inflation to carry on, and it will make money. I don't need anything else. It needs to be nothing else. I say yes. The only bad thing that could happen is people could suddenly decide to switch over to Bitcoin as the thing that runs the world instead of precious metals. But see, the thing is, at least with precious metals, there is an actual real world use for them in technology, like gold, silver, palladium. They're all needed in technology. So the chances of them becoming less in a technology-based society is extremely slim. So if anything, I mean, it may seem like, oh, you're going a bit backwards, going for the metals and stuff, but it's forward thinking because the more technology we use, the more precious these metals are going to become.
So you're going to become a scrap man, basically.
Basically, oh yeah, all the stuff I buy now, unfortunately, especially with silver, you've got to pay VAT, and you're paying, I think, between like a 20 and 30% premium. So when I go to sell, it will be at a loss. But if I'm keeping hold of it for the next 20 years, the chances are that the interest is going to go over the premium that I've paid anyway. So I'll probably, if not break even, at least on it. So,
and even if it doesn't, it's going
I've
to be
still
more
got it's still
stable than money. I think it's going to be more stable than physical money, because how often do we see currencies crash?
not that, right? You can buy exactly the same now with an ounce of gold as you could buy 150 years ago with an ounce of gold. It's just that it would cost you more fiat currency to buy that gold. That's all.
But if you bought something with gold, apparently it would be yours outright because it's not bought with a debt note, isn't it? So your car, if you could buy it in gold, they
Yeah,
shouldn't be able to take off you.
I think there's
Apparently.
legal statutes out to stop you. I think you have to use legal tender nowadays, which is cash. So, well, the coins and stuff that I buy on face value have a face value, so they are legal tender. They're worth more than their face value.
So what happens if you bought a second-hand car in gold?
You couldn't.
How would that?
That's what I mean. Well, all right. I suppose you could technically go to a private person like off the street and say, "Look, I haven't got the cash, but I've got this gold here. Can we do a deal?" But I think again, I'm not sure how that would work because
if that car was bought by somebody who's using paper money, then is that car really theirs to then sell to you with gold to make it actually yours? That makes sense.
I wouldn't know. But again, none of this matters anyway. Because I won't be. It's not like I'll be going down the shops with my gold and silver and saying, "Can I buy stuff?" Yeah. When it comes time to sell, I'll be going to a dealer and saying, "Buy this off me. I'll take what you give me, and I'm fucking off."
But isn't money a joke now? And what it says on it, pay the holder of this note £10 is just give us.
Which is why I'm moving over to precious metals, because this precious metals will buy you exactly today what they bought you 150 years ago. So I can't imagine why they won't buy you exactly today what they'll buy you in 150 years from now.
But who's going to accept it? If nobody,
who's going to check it? Did you say?
Who's going to
Accept it.
accept it if you to buy something? You'd have to cash it in for cash, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, you'll buy. I'll cash it in for whatever currency is about at the time. And like I say, because of inflation, whatever I buy now, because like I say, this is stuff I'm buying now for in 20, 25 years time when I'm like in my 60s.
Well, have you ever done that trick where you say, think of a number? Somebody thinks of the number, you do this arithmetic, you keep the sum in your head, then you take away the first number you thought of, and then you just come up with your answer. That's a bit like the gold, isn't it? You put the gold there, you do all this thing, you change it back to money, and then say this is the money without the gold. The same
Yeah,
sort
no,
of,
it's all trickery. This is what I mean. I'm using the system because I understand the system. Right. But because I understand the system, what I'm doing is taking fake fiat currency and turning it into solid something there that I can hold and will appreciate and value because of the technology state we live in.
This is just because gold came before money that it seems more feasible,
Nope.
do you think? So what is it about gold? Is it just weight? Like
No.
what? It's
Because we use it in all our technology, and silver as well. Like I say, silver, if not even more so, because silver is used in more technology than gold, even more in technology than gold is. And like I say, I'll be
So
buying
copper,
palladium
right?
as well, because that's heavily used in technologies.
Well, copper's used quite a bit for circuit boards and lead for soldering, so they're
Yeah, but
probably
it's a
using
common. It's just way too common. I think it cost me £10 for a 1 ounce coin of copper, where it cost me just over double that for silver, and it will cost me 75. No, well, yeah, £20 odd for an ounce of silver, where it's going to cost me, I think, £130. So, like I say, all I'm literally doing is trading one fake money for another fake currency, basically. But I predict a more stable currency. That's it. I'm gambling here, just like everyone else does with money when they invest.
But isn't it like the thing with money, gold? You buy it when it's worth fuck all. It's like, and that's the worst time to buy it because it's not worth anything. It's like there's nothing in it for you now. It's a strange thing, isn't it, to invest in something that isn't worth anything at the time.
Yeah, but see again, right? I mean, the only reason gold's gone off the way it has is because interest has gone off the way it has, and again, like I say, they realizing just how important gold and silver, platinum, palladium are in technology. So as long as I'm banking on technology carrying on, so I'm betting the system, like I'm betting that the system will succeed. In other words, because as long as the system succeeds, then the value of gold, silver, palladium, platinum can only go up.
Well, can it succeed when you've got the people like the bankers controlling it all? Like, are them bankers the problem to everything? Them few.
Yeah, but right. As the bankers, basically, like I say, the bankers know where it's at with gold and silver and the precious metals. And
Yeah,
so if they're in
that's all-
charge, no matter what system takes over, then the chances are it's still going to be ruled by gold, silver, palladium, and
yeah, but
the
what I
other
mean
ones I
is
mentioned.
they're siphoning huge amounts of money, aren't they? These bankers giving themselves huge bonuses and stuff. So
Yes.
if I'm an accountant, I'm working with numbers, and because I've got 2 decimal points over, should my wage be 2 decimal points over? Because that's what I'm writing down on paper or typing up. Or should it just be the same as the other man who's using numbers?
No, it shouldn't be any of it. That's the whole point.
It's like because you're dealing with
You
loads
know,
of money.
I'm playing the game. I'm playing the system. I'm playing the game of the system. That's it. Right, it's a game. I understand this. I'm playing by rules that were made up many years ago, and are set to change.
Isn't that all that the immigrants are doing as well? They're just using the system.
Oh
It's
yeah,
set up
yeah.
for
No,
them.
again, no. I mean, this is the thing. Like I say, I agreed with you earlier. Yeah, it's the system that's broken, and maybe I shouldn't have gone so vehemently at the actual immigrants, because obviously, if I was living in a shit situation, I'd want to move somewhere better. Yeah,
Let's
like you
not
say, make a better life for yourself.
Not to never dig at anybody. It's just how I say things, and I'll just say how I say it.
No, I know.
Anyways, I'll get off. It's been nice talking to you.
No,
And
cheers, mate.
it's been
No,
good
like I
chatting to
say,
her.
yeah,
Can't
no,
you
it
just...
is a tricky situation. This one, like I say, especially when you know you're mucking with there's all this pretend stuff. But
Yeah. All right, and good night.
Cheers, mate.
Nightmare. Thanks for coming on. And at worst, D,
Yes.
with gold, if it depresses, if it goes down in value, the very least that's going to happen is that you can make some pretty jewelry and try and sell that.
Well, yeah, no, this is it. And like I say, it's not like I'm out working for a living now. I've done that. I've been medically retired. I'm now in a situation where I'm getting given money for free. And if I can spare a little bit of money, even if it means you're smoking a little bit less weed, then I don't see what's wrong with me turning it into something a bit more solid, like I can touch and feel and see for myself.
Yeah, no, I agree. So we've gone for 2 hours and 40 minutes almost. So I'm gonna wrap this up, I think, because I'm tired.
This has been a long week, so
yeah.
Yes.
Tonight's been great. Thanks for everybody who stopped by. Thank you for keeping the chat going before it slowly. I think everybody's got tired. It's Sunday. They're getting ready for work tomorrow. That's fair enough. Next Saturday, I think both me and Dee will be on Jed's again. I think I probably 90% will turn up to Jed's. It's my birthday, so I plan on having many drinks. And I don't go outside. And I don't really want to be going. I can't go out. I can't stand up. So, not to say that people who can't stand up can't go out. You can go out if you want to. But yeah, I don't have much of a social life whilst I'm kind of housebound at the moment. So I'll be on Jed's next Saturday for my birthday, and then next Sunday obviously we'll be here from 9 p.m. Yeah, so again, thank you for everybody who's come out tonight. Thanks for Vegan Realist sending people over. If you haven't, go check out his channel, give him a like and drop him a sub.
I was trying to find his channel here to get a link, so I can put it in the chat. Sorry.
Same with Jed. Drop him a like if you haven't already. I imagine most people who are still in this chat probably have dropped Jed a like. But yeah, go follow Jed. We'll be there, I think.
I'm not getting the option to share anymore. Well, I'll have to put one of his videos on. Right.
That's frustrating. But yeah, so again, thanks to everybody who's shown their support, texting and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you want to say. I know you're typing things.
It's a link to it's a link to Vegan Realist there in the chat. I don't know why it's not letting me give the option to share somebody's channel anymore. But that's the second time I've tried to share somebody's channel. It's not giving me the option, so I'll take it they've taken that away from us. But anyway, yeah, no, it really is getting late. This is probably I think this is the longest one we've done. So
I think
it's everyone for sticking around so late on a Sunday night.
Yeah, you're probably all trying to get to work. Fair enough. Well, trying to get to bed so you can get to work tomorrow. So yeah, thanks guys for popping out. Thanks for being here. And we'll see you next week. Bye. Dude's pressing the buttons.
Yeah.